What's going on, my fellow Nails? Welcome into another NFL live watch along here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network, powered, as always, by Pinnacle Sportsbooks. We are treated tonight to two games starting at 8:15. The NFL's testing out some stuff, what time slots work for these double Monday nighters. That's why we got two games starting at the same time tonight. I'm going to break them all down in full, as I usually do, and then I'll fire in a bunch of prop bets. To make it more organized tonight, I'll go team by team for prop bets. I don't love a bunch of things tonight, but there's enough to bet here. There's enough to bet here. In terms of how this stream is going to go tonight, the main game for when guests are going to join is going to be the Dolphins-Titans game. So we've sent out our invites and said, join in the first quarter of the Dolphins-Titans game. Second quarter, third quarter, so on and so forth. First quarter, whale capper, Drew Dinsick. You know him from NBC Sports. You know him from the Deep Dive podcast. He's joining me in the first quarter. Second quarter, from the Always Betting podcast, Pisky, at Pisky Positivo on Twitter, stepping up and in. Third quarter, big fan. A lot of you are big fans of him in the chat. Noops is coming in the third quarter here. Fourth quarter, Iain MacMillan from the Bacon Bets pod. Stacked lineup tonight, different guests. We'll navigate it as we go through. Now let's get into the bets really quickly. We'll bring up BetStamp really quickly. I want to talk about the main market of the games just for a second here, Jason, if we could take a look at the odds screen here. So Miami, that line's kind of stayed still at 13.5 for the majority of the week. Money coming on the under today. I talked about this with Clive Bixby last week, where I thought that the money would be on the under and you could get a more favorable price on the over, closer to post if you like that. I personally like the over in this game a little bit, not crazy, but this Miami Dolphins passing offense against this Titans pass defense with Christian Fulton out, with Jeffrey Simmons out, that's disastrous. We saw Miami put up 45 on Washington's terrible defense. They could do the same on Tennessee. Hell, they score on everybody. So strong lean to the over or small play on the over if you like that. In the other game, tons of Giants money. I don't have a strong opinion on the game other than that this is like the peak price for Green Bay and market all year. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Could totally be right. And Green Bay can be that team now. But now that we have, Christian Watson out, Jair Alexander out, Quay Walker out, I can understand the Giants money. I can get it. No strong opinion on that game. We'll get into the props. Before we do, Steven asked, what about Dolphins team total? That's maybe the way to play it if you want to remove the Tennessee offense variance from the equation, because that can be ugly at times. Can certainly be ugly at times. All right, before I get into the games, smash that like button down below. If you're not subbed here on Forward Progress, make sure you're subbed here on Forward Progress. And as always, I do interact with the chat. So post your bets. Let me know what you like tonight. But I'll get to it. Team by team, starting with the Green Bay Packers. First bet we're going to make is an anytime touchdown scorer bet. And I'm going with Malik Heath in the anytime touchdown scorer market. I really don't know with certainty how this situation is going to play out with Christian Watson out. But as the year has gone out, Samori Toure has been phased out of the offense. Malik Heath is starting to get snaps. Not crazy snaps. We're talking about 11 last week, 11 the week prior, 15 the week prior to that. But now with Christian Watson out, I think his snap count is elevated. I don't think the prices have been adjusted enough. 9-1, we'll play $10 on Malik Heath, anytime touchdown score. Hopefully he's on the field for about 20 snaps, and that's going to justify the bet size. Next, skipping over everything else, Green Bay. And we'll stay in the same game to make it easy. New York Giants. I hate myself, but I'm going to do it. Tommy DeVito. Over on passing yards. Guys, Tommy DeVito's not very good.
Never DeVito.
Suma says never DeVito all the time. But we're bordering on, like, he's an NFL quarterback here. This is not a weather game. He's inspired by his family handing out cutlets before the game. His agent, who looks like a mobster, is in attendance. It's all setting up for a DeVito over 172.5. Come on. Come on. We're playing this for a full unit, people. 100 bones base unit. Tommy DeVito in a game state where he's probably going to be trailing 5.5-point underdogs to get 172.5 passing yards. I mean, he played the Patriots offense and defense and surpassed this. So come on, Tommy. Do it for all the fellow Italians tonight. Also in that game, we're going to go to the New York Giants. And I'm going to play tight end Lawrence Cager in the first touchdown market and the anytime touchdown market. First touchdown, you need 50-1 or better to place it, but there's widely available 66-1 right now. Go ahead, drop a couple bucks on that. Same bet that we hit with Hunter Henry. $2, sorry, Jason, on that one. Literally $2. Lawrence Cager, first touchdown. Anytime touchdown, you need 20-1. They're out there. Search for them. Play $5 on that as well. Lawrence Cager. All right. Flipping over to the other game. Start with the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to just say this. I don't have the balls to bet it, but I'm going to say it. I think there's value on Tyreek Hill's under yardage tonight. 108.5 plus money out there, 110.5. I don't want, this is not how I want to spend tonight. This is not how I want to be watching the game tonight. But if you have the stones to do it, I actually do think that there's an edge on this number. Part of it is that there's a lot of game scripts where Miami actually does end up leading by a lot, blowing another team out, blowing Tennessee out, and maybe it's Jalen Waddle that does the damage. Maybe it's big running game, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, whatever. I'm not betting it. I just wanted to inform people that I actually do think that there is some value there. What I am betting is a small bet on Raheem Mostert over 7.5 receiving yards at plus money. Minus 101, Pinnacle, best number in market. Perfect. $50. I'm okay with any of these prices. Actually, I wouldn't play the minus 120, but anything up until there, I'm fine with. I love Achane, but Tennessee's very susceptible to anything in the passing game. Mostert's still going to get snaps. He consistently gets 1 to 2 targets per game. Even when Achane's healthy, I like that one. For the Tennessee Titans, Tyjae Spears, who I absolutely love, I'm going to go under on his rushing yards for tonight's game. Now, there's obviously some injury concern with Derrick Henry, but 20.5 rushing yards, play under minus 110 for $50, half unit. And this to me is just about the likely script for the game and not the script that they write for the sports books or anything like that. $50, Jason, on this one. But the script in that, they're probably going to be trailing for a large majority of this game. And it ain't going to be Tyjae Spears getting a ton of handoffs at that point. Great player. Love the guy. Too high of a number. Look at the games where Tennessee's gotten blown out this year. And he doesn't get it. Doesn't get the yardage. Doesn't get the carries in those games. Anytime touchdown score for the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take a look at Chris Moore here. Don't really know what's happening with Treylon Burks. Obviously, he spent a lot of time out with a concussion, came back. His snap counts were very low in the first game back. Maybe they're going to phase him up a little bit more today. That's entirely possible. But Chris Moore, for several weeks now, is averaging like 75% of their snaps on offense. He's there. He's a very viable option relative to how he's priced against Nick Westbrook-Akine, Treylon Burks, even Kyle Phillips. I think he's by far the most valuable receiver here. We'll put $10 on him, anytime touchdown at 11-1. And that's going to be it. We'll do a quick recap in my picks. I understand we might have locked in the wrong play here on... No, we got Tommy DeVito over. There we go. Tennessee, Miami. Chris Moore, touchdown. Tyjae Spears under 20.5 rush yards. Raheem Mostert over on receiving yards. Green Bay and the Giants taking a swing on Lawrence Cager. First TD and anytime. Tommy DeVito, my guy, over. Malik Heath with a touchdown for the Green Bay Packers. That's going to be it for us tonight. Padded Room Memes, appreciate the $10 donation. Goes a long way in helping pay my producer, Jason Cooper, for tonight. Goes a long way. He's there behind the scenes doing his thing. Got to pay him somehow. I considered Spears over receiving yards also because of game script. Ultimately, I did not love the number, but I don't hate the play. I think that's very, very possible. Very possible. There's lots of people opposite Spears. I talk about this on every stream. I tend to be opposite a lot of other people out there because what happens in prop markets, especially on a release, especially a guy like Hitman who has like market influence, they play a prop, it moves a ton and people like continue to bet it at worse prices. Oftentimes I think that creates value on the other side, especially in the prop market. But whatever, there's no crazy big bets tonight anyways. As usual, we got 2 games going on. I want some sweats. I want to throw some darts. Might as well do it. Before the game starts, let's get the whale capper in here. Let's get Drew in here. See if he's got any strong opinions on anything tonight that anyone might be able to capitalize on. What's up, Drew?
Nothing bad. How you been, man?
You know what? I had a absolute banger of an NFL week. Dude. I'm feeling great. Cowboys won. Just one of those.
High five across the interwebs. Let's be just totally insufferable tonight because I also had just an absolutely outstanding week 13 or week 14, I guess.
14, yeah.
Even better, we're in final quarter of circa, so you know what you want for the final quarter. You want some 5-0 so that you can chase that quarter prize. All 3 of the entries, I'm going for the win, 5-0. The one I'm going for the booby, 0-5.
Oh, that's
so
a dream.
It was an absolute dream start to the fourth quarter, and to the point where I might as well just kind of give up on work for the year because the next 3 weeks I'm going to be thinking about football from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep. So I'm fully into the finale of this season. The drama of the playoff picture in both AFC and NFC wild cards especially is awesome. I think the market's way too sure about a lot of these division winners even. So there's going to be some chaos here. I love this. This home stretch is going to be sick.
Yeah, I was playing around with some playoff scenario generators today. I ran my probabilities on games, so it's pretty interesting to me. I'm with you. I want to get your thoughts on the Bills because we've been talking about the Bills for a lot. And I kind of feel like people have done this complete reversal on them now, where to the point where it's kind of believed like they're a shoo-in almost because they beat the Chiefs this week. And I'm holding some Bills futures from a few weeks ago now, but now I kind of feel like maybe we're getting to the point where it's an overcorrection. I guess it depends on how you feel about them against the Cowboys this week. A lot of people are going to have differing opinions on that game.
Yeah. God, man. I listened to your recap yesterday. Mm-hmm. You had a little bit at the top where you were talking about Sean McDermott. It was cathartic to hear somebody else say that sort of stuff because I like, okay, there's some coaches that I just specifically dislike, like Brandon Staley. Do not like that guy. That guy lied. He lied in a playoff, leading into a playoff game last year, and kind of misled a lot of people on top of some other very terrible decisions he made. Right. So there's some coaches I like, just I literally do not like. McDermott is getting close because he's clearly playing, he's clearly coaching like a guy who's in personal crisis. I'm about to lose this job.
Yep.
And I'm about to not succeed with one of the best quarterbacks in the game. The window, he looks like he realizes the window has closed or is closing. Right. And he's coaching very, very haphazardly. Them coming out and getting a 14-point lead on the back of James Cook, and then kind of abandoning that approach, which was working so successfully. Like, I don't know if you know this, Rob. Anyone with 2 eyes and an internet connection knows that you beat the Chiefs by running it down their throats. Like, their run defense stinks.
Yep.
In particular, in the absence of Nick Bolton, and I know he was back. Like, test him.
Yep.
Nick Bolton's in game shape. Let's find out. Like,
exactly.
And like the fact that they tacked away from it, and like, really, the game got, a little in the balance when Allen threw that pick. It was like everybody's like butt clenched, and they were like, we're play not to lose now. We can't lose this game,
dude. It just felt the whole second half.
And this isn't even getting to the true egregious in-game decision making for the. I'm keeping track here for the 93rd time in his career as a head coach. Sean McDermott bottled an easy end of game scenario. Easy, like,
and you could feel it coming too. Like, that's yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely absurd that they were even like, they looked like they were determined to find a way to lose that game. And the Bills have done that a couple times this year. I'm surprised they didn't. The fact that the discourse after that game is everybody bloviating about the offsides, I don't, number one, I did not expect that. If you had said, hey, make a market, what's the big talking point going to be in NFL circles on Monday morning after this incredible week of football, I would not have put
an offensive
offsides being like the key thing that people wanted to talk about. Like, do people not remember last year? Like, this happened. There was a huge high leverage one in a Cowboys game against the Packers. Jalen Tolbert was offsides on what ended up being a first down that got called back, that flipped the overtime for the Packers over the Cowboys.
Yep.
And then like almost a year ago in primetime, Terry McLaurin was up to the line, looked at the refs. The ref was like, he made the gesture like, no, you need to get closer. He got closer, looked at the ref, like claimed that the ref said he was close enough. And then they threw the penalty that wiped out a Commander's touchdown. Yep. Like, that was insane. Like, that, like, this all happened in recent memory. And people are crazy, man. People are acting like this was some sort of ref mistake. And I'm like, I can't be partial about it because I had Bills and I was very happy that they made that call. So I don't know, but the reaction from people seemed like unhinged, disconnected from reality. I don't know what else to say.
Yep, I agree with you on that. I'll give my thoughts in 2 seconds here. What game are you watching, out of curiosity?
I got TV on Dolphins and phone on Packers.
Okay, so I'm going to do something similar to you. I can't do a time sync tonight, people, because I'm switching back and forth hard. So this is just the reality of the situation. Xavier Howard is down on the field, and they've gone to commercial break for the Dolphins. He collided with his own player on that third down play, so it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Tennessee Titans, and an ugly one at that in the early going here. The Packers, I'm watching on my screen here, should have had a free play right now, but the refs just kind of blew it dead for them. But it's going to be a back and forth tonight. If you got an issue with that, blame Roger Goodell. Don't blame me. Blame Goodell. They're testing out how different games are going to work, whether it should be in the same slot, time slot or whatever. But we did run a poll on the channel. We know 40% of people are watching both games. So just let's try to keep up tonight, people. And if we see big plays, we'll just let it happen. And we'll go from there. Drew, my opinion on this is on like the Chiefs thing is I kind of just understand everyone's perspective on it. I get it.
Sure.
Like it should be called. It's a penalty. I don't know why people are up in arms that a penalty was called, but the problem is that it could be called so much more regularly and is not, that I can understand why people feel like they should just get the benefit of the doubt on it. I do understand the argument of like, it really, like, someone lining up this much offside is not going to influence the play. So why call it in a situation late in the game? I get all of that. It all makes sense to me. It's just a matter of your own perspective at the end of the day. But it's a penalty. Like, it's clear as day, a penalty. And the biggest issue, in my opinion, is the NFL and the fact that you do not get consistency regularly. Because if they just drew a line in the sand and said, we're going to call this every time, no matter how close it is, you never get these types of reactions. Also, I wouldn't be surprised in the offseason if they just change that rule and they blow the play dead as soon as there's an offensive offside because they let it
definitely
play
better
out.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
like disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. The refs make a ton of mistakes. You know, they're never going to go to robot umps or robot refs, and that's fine. But no, it was a good outcome for drama. I think if I'm like crystal balling and I want to make the most entertaining thing possible happen, I probably have the Bills lose to the Cowboys this week, and people assume that they're done. But I personally think that the Dolphins are upset alert against the Jets. I think the Dolphins Cowboys game is pretty interesting matchup. Not exactly sure where I'm going to land on that one once we see a number. But I think Bills Dolphins week 18 is going to be your primetime game.
Yep.
And I think winner wins the AFC East, and loser, if it's the Bills lose, I think is out. If the Dolphins lose, they're probably wild card number 1. So that's kind of that would be the most fun if it was a true elimination game for the Bills or a home game in the playoffs at stake in week 18. But I think the Bills are going to absolutely, crush the Patriots and the Chargers before that at week 18 game. And the Cowboys game kind of, I don't know. I think the market's maybe a little high on the Bills. I didn't expect this number, I'll be honest. I think the Bills are weird because as Diggs hurt, he's not really doing anything. I don't really understand why his particular contributions have been, so weak of late. And I would expect that the Bills defense continues to improve to some degree, but this is going to be their toughest test in a while. Like they haven't played a good offense in a while. So should be a competitive game. And I guess at price, I would lean Cowboys actually. But I'm probably going to skip that one. And just
gonna interrupt you for 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Waddle just caught a ball over the middle of the field and got plastered. That was the play after Raheem Mostert hobbled off as well. Not that I think Mostert is a huge loss because they do have a very quality player in Devon Achane there. But I mean, Driley Mack says, where is it? Hospital pass from Tua. That's exactly how I would describe that pass. Receiver running full speed over the middle of the field with a defender running full speed in the opposite direction. Wow, that was a tough one. So we got an early timeout in that game. And I guess as good a time as ever to flip over to Tommy DeVito's first drive.
I guess people probably, from my kind of just general commentary about the Dolphins, like I don't think the Dolphins are paper tigers at all. Like they clearly have a very real offense. They're going to score 30 against anyone. The issues are maybe more like if you look at their advanced numbers and you really kind of key on like recency, like the defense is playing top 3 right now.
Yep.
But that was against super dog shit quarterbacks. And it was against, and it was with Jalen Phillips and Jerome Baker. So now you've lost guys at 2 levels. Like if Xavier Howard, did you hear or read or see anything if that was easy or it's serious or not?
He looked like he was in a lot of pain. Now he didn't get caught. I think he walked off the field, so that's usually a good sign. But yeah, there's that. Like Teron Armstead, like this guy's never healthy. Robert Hunt is hurt. Like they could potentially have significant injuries and be that team that just kind of down the stretch has.
Remind me of the last time you heard about a defense that was playing really well and their numbers were really good and the market was treating them like top 5, and then they lost a key player at every level of the defense and they like just cratered to the point where the Patriots were scoring game-winning drives on them and making it look easy. Oh yeah, that happened this season with the Bills. Like, you circle the Xavier Howard news this week. If he doesn't come back in this game, that makes me like the Jets even more. I kind of was hoping for just kind of a clean-ish game here and a clean win for the Dolphins, so that widely available 13 or whatever pops, because that's an absurd number in my opinion. But we shall see.
Yeah, Waddle just walked off the field as well. Honestly, that it looked like one of those where it's like wind knocked out of him type of. It wasn't.
He got him in the chest. Yeah,
it wasn't the Justin Jefferson where he got hit and then like immediately grabbed like a body part, basically. Like when Jefferson got destroyed yesterday. I mean, Dylan, I see what you did there. He won. Pretty good. What do we add for likes here really quickly? I mean, I always have to beg for likes here. 77. This is embarrassing, people. Come on, man. Come on. 220 watching, 77 likes. Give me a break.
People's fingers must have you got a lot of Justin Herberts watching with their hands wrapped up. They can't click the like button apparently.
There you go.
Pathetic. Pathetic. But yeah, no, I think the Dolphins are a very interesting discussion point for the AFC. And I mean, we don't really know how they're going to match up against good teams in their current form. We're going to find out against Baltimore and Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big game for me just because it's me versus G Stack. It's me versus George Silfidis. I can't handle, like, Miami's basically become a division rival for the Cowboys now, even though they're going to play like once every 6 years, because G-Stack George is like the biggest homer on the planet when it comes to, Miami is going to win every game by 30. They're going to win the Super Bowl. I can't deal with that. So Cowboys Dolphins has become the biggest game of the year for me.
Yeah. It's not great matchup for the Cowboys defense with all that speed.
Yeah. Tua's moving the ball, hit Tyreek for 20 yards here on third down. Mostert's back in the game as well. He caught a pass for 4 yards, which is unfortunately slightly short of what I needed. And I don't know that he'll get another target, but yeah.
Tua's fascinating, man. Watching him throw lefty, it looks like he's Phillip Rivers shot putting the ball. And then if you ever see those videos where they flip it and he looks like he's throwing righty, it looks just like he's dropping dimes. It's like the lefty he pays a lefty tax by my eye, that's for sure.
Who's down here now for Miami? I can't see. There's another play. It might be an O lineman. Everyone's down on a knee. So this is like not a good injury.
Lester Cotton, maybe. It looked like 66, but I couldn't really see.
I can't tell. But like McDaniel's coming off the bench now to see what's going on here. It looks to me like their center. It looks like Connor Williams.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh my God, man. Talk about a rough start to a game for injury-wise. Really rough. Yeah.
This is not portending well for getting double digits with the Jets next week. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so he got rolled up on from behind.
Oh, this is like if Tua was right-handed, which looks totally normal. And it does look a lot like Rivers.
Yeah.
That looks a lot like Rivers.
He's got some serious shot put energy for whatever reason.
Not a great start for DeVito overs. 0 for 2, no yards. Was this Wandale? Yeah, it looked like Wandale. Oh man, he's got him too. Just a shit throw. Less veal cutlets and more accuracy.
You remember Eagles Dolphins in primetime?
Yeah, I bet the Eagles that game. It was a big bet.
That was a big, you felt the absence of Connor Williams in that game.
Yep. Big time.
There was a lot of interior pressure. There was, if you can get, because Tua gets the ball out pretty quickly, even with some of the late developing stuff, he still gets the ball out quick because his receivers are the fastest people on earth, obviously. Yep. But if you can get interior pressure, then that does disrupt him pretty good. Like, he's the kind of guy where if you're up against elite interior D line, I'm more concerned than if you're up against elite edge players.
I'm with you. KZ asks, is Tyrod active? He is. Tyrod is the backup quarterback tonight, so he could conceivably come into the game at any point.
We were making jokes about this. You heard the quotes from Dable that DeVito earned the starting job.
I did.
Did you interpret that as truth or that they're not trying to win?
I think it's not that they're not trying to win. I think it's more so of like, it's dumb because they kind of know what they got and it's not going to be good, but it's a see what you got type of situation where, hey, maybe this guy puts together a little bit, towards the end of the year. I think it's just one of those, like, what's the upside of playing Tyrod at this point? There's none.
You accidentally win. That's downside. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a see what you got type of situation. Someone mentioned Jalen Waddle's back in the game as Raheem Mostert takes it inside the 10-yard line. So
Williams
Waddle
also
back.
walked into the blue tent on his own power, so that's another positive sign. But
yeah, unless you want to bet the Jets next week.
Yeah.
The G-Stack special, rooting for player injuries. This is the people I work with, Drew. The Hammer is collectively like, there's probably like 3 people here that are stand-up guys. Suma, Eager, and then after that, it's downhill scumbag central with the rest of these guys.
We're all pulling for Hitman to get off the schneid, right? Packers.
Are we? I think it's a better story if he wins one game all year, personally. Don't tell him I said that, but I think that's the real
He
story.
seemed sincere when he was saying that last week, I thought.
I just like you know this because you've done the Matchbook pod for years as well. And whenever you get when you get into a situation where you're giving a best bet, you're narrowing down your card from like 5-6 plays you like to
Sure. 1.
And there's a lot of variance in that like single play.
Of course.
I don't even know what just happened in this. Is this actually a fumble? This was the weirdest play ever for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was
It looked like it had to be like a false start or a
bad snap.
Yeah, it's new center.
This is
how primetime unders happen, Drew. Center gets hurt, new center comes in, fumbles a snap at the 2-yard line.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Liam Eichenberg didn't have a ton of reps with Tua. Snaps it right into his own nutsack.
First score of the game going to be a safety. Can almost feel it coming,
fun.
right?
Ooh,
Can almost feel it coming.
What's your read on Levis? Has he got it?
I think Levis has upside. I still I wouldn't give up on Levis. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Xavier Howard out there.
Looks checking like now. False start already, so that's going to back him up to the 4.
Howard is number 25.
Yeah. Don't worry about the over being dead. This is Ramsey pick 6 territory. Miami puts up like explosive plays like it's going out of style.
Hey, the under got bet like somebody knew the final score today. I'm sure you saw that. 47 closed 44.5. That's not
that's where the look ahead was.
Big boy money. Yeah.
That was like the look ahead number on the game.
Yeah, Howard's back out there. He's on the bottom of the screen right now.
All right. Green Bay offense. I don't know that I really want to see Tennessee from there. I'm too like, I don't know what it is, Drew. I didn't grow up like watching stuff on my phone, and it's just so hard for me to do it, man. I don't know what it is. It's painful. It's a painful experience.
You have the iPhone Max?
No.
Yeah, get the bigger iPhone. That helps.
Yeah.
The little one's useless.
No,
you need the big
bueno.
one.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to get used to the size of it in terms of hand and pocket and stuff like that. But if you're traveling, it's a pretty mandatory.
Here's the one thing that about Levis that he's very vocal with his players on the field. Like he misses a throw and he just starts running and yelling at guys. I've never really seen that from a young quarterback. It's kind of weird. I didn't watch him play at college. I can't tell you a whole lot, but like he gets in people's faces a lot for a rookie. And he seems to think DeAndre Hopkins ran the wrong route there or something. I don't know, but it's a big third down. And pick 6, baby. Let's go. Threw it right into the hands of a D lineman on a screen.
Oh my goodness gracious. That was fat guy touchdown.
Over's back in play, baby.
Fat guy touchdown.
That guy touchdown.
Zach Seiler? Is that who that was?
That was
Zach
Seiler.
Seiler. What was his first touchdown price? I doubt he was individually lined.
He definitely was. He's the defensive tackle opposite of because Raekwon Davis plays in the middle. Seiler on
Christian
one side,
Wilkins is on
Wilkins
the,
on the other.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miami. I did not have. Oh, I had Cedric Wilson first TD in the Miami game. That's going to kill that bet. It doesn't kill a Tennessee first TD, which is nice. That was Ritter-esque. I like that. I like that term.
Yikes.
I mean,
I'm watching the replay.
It's just bad. Like, you're throwing into coverage. You just kind of got to know at some point or another when to not, like, you just throw it in the ground, throw it at the receiver's feet, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to put 99% of this on Levis. I'm going to put 1% on Tim Kelly because you don't have the offensive line that can really do a great job of setting up the screen. And the guy that they had pulling there to try to put a hat on Seiler was like basically laying on his belly. He was doing a hot lot of nothing there. So the screen really, even if he had gotten the ball towards the hands of who was it, Spears, I guess he was throwing it towards.
Yeah, it was Spears there.
It was still going nowhere. So yeah, if you're Tennessee, you have the 32nd best offensive line in football. I think it's you got to know what you're working with. I think
Miami up to minus 17.5 right now at Pinnacle, and the total is up to it's 47, but it's juiced pretty heavily to the under, so it's like a 46.5 number as well. So a little bit above the pregame total after a fumble at the 2-yard line. It basically just balanced out. It's as if Miami scored a touchdown on offense, essentially. A little bit of extra clock, but it balanced out.
So what is your sincere opinion then of Miami, given that they have yet to beat anyone tough? I mean, you could have said the same thing about the Philadelphia Eagles last year, heading into their playoff run where they almost won the Super Bowl. And I think I'm definitely intrigued in terms of how will Tua perform in his first ever playoff run. I'm a noted blind fade the first playoff start.
When is that gonna that's become though a thing now? That was like a quiet thing for a long time. Sure. And now it's out there. And I wonder if like the overcorrection is coming at some point. I'm with you. Like, I don't think it's going to be.
Not going to be with Miami. Like, I mean, if Miami wins the East and they're home against one of the kind of also rans here in the wild card mix for the AFC, which are all kind of, there's some bad teams in that mix. They could be big favorites, and people might not even really put the dots together that this is Tua's first playoff start because they were in the playoffs last year, but it was, of course, the Skylar Thompson show. I don't know. I mean, I would expect it maybe more likely with like Stroud, right? Like people are going to talk about it more with Stroud because he's a rookie, right? Yep. And a rookie making his first playoff start is going to be a lightning rod.
I did do we're dealing with small sample here because there's not enough playoff games over like a 20-year span, but I did bucket the quarterbacks when I did this last year into like eventually was like a Hall of Famer, eventually was good, eventually was bad, eventually was deplorable. And the ones that amounted to being very good quarterbacks for the majority of their career actually had a much better ATS record in the first start. It's the ones that are like, not very good.
You're lucky to be here. Yeah. Lucky to be here.
That they just show up and the situation is like, it's just too much for them to overcome a lot of these times. So,
yeah. I mean, you remember Josh Allen's first playoff start? I think it was against Houston. He did some absolutely brain dead stuff in that one, like trying to lateral.
He still does.
There was some plays that were like truly like hilarity ensued plays. Deshaun Watson had a bad first playoff start, if I remember correctly.
You got a better memory than I do.
There's a couple of guys who ended up being good. I mean, I don't know. I'll revisit it as well now because I'm curious, but. Trevor Lawrence very, very famously threw 5 interceptions in his first playoff start. Didn't matter.
Very
But,
famously.
yeah.
I remember that game like it was yesterday.
That was a weird one. Was it 5 picks or 5 turnovers? See, now I'm forgetting. It was 4 picks and a fumble, maybe. I think there were 5 turnovers in the first half of that one, though.
It was 5 turnovers. I don't know if it was 5 picks, but it was 5 turnovers. Dude, Tommy DeVito, I made a big mistake. I saw that low number. In fairness, I have been betting the DeVito overs for a bit now and have been coming through for me, especially the Washington game. Granted, that was a very different matchup, but yeah, that's tough. What's also tough is the Tennessee offense. Like it's just not very good.
Never DeVito.
Never DeVito.
Do you feel like he is a good representative of the Italian football community? Or, I mean, it feels like there is a little bit of buzz in New York, at least for him. He seems to be well liked by the fans. They're enjoying the DeVito experience.
Yeah, it was he's like Costas' neighbor or something like that. He's like a Ellis Island guy or whatever. That's what I had heard.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very like he lives in very close proximity to Costas, or at least his family does, which I found interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's like the most stereotypical like Italian stuff. It's not stereotypical because like he's living it, but it's, you know, the family shows up to all the games and the veal cutlets in the parking lot and what, like it's too much.
The Giants' super fat kicker could not convert a 48-yard attempt, and it is still 0-0.
Oh man, classic. Is it Bullock? Ryan Bullock, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I said Ellis
next
Island. I did mean Staten Island, not Ellis Island, where all the immigrants. Yeah, Staten
Island. Yes, of course. The speaking of kickers, I didn't know that the Cowboys had the most valuable kicker in the game until yesterday. He was making 62 look automatic. How in the world?
I did not realize. I've seen him kick some long kicks this year, but I did not realize the extent to how far he could kick. And actually, shame on me. I didn't even know he was drafted by Toronto FC in the MLS draft or anything like that. He was there for 1 year, drafted by Toronto. I got the scarf. I mean, I was a season ticket holder for years and whatever. Probably in 2018, I was still a season ticket holder. And yeah, I never didn't know his story or anything until they highlighted it on the broadcast last night. But like, man, that was impressive, man.
Yeah, it was.
Like those weren't just like scraping through. Those were down the pipe, 60 yards out.
No doubt, from 60 is tough. He was doing it.
Look at these guys.
Real quick,
they troll me.
Yeah, sure.
But like, what am I going to do? At this point, it's too late. I should have asked Drew for hair tips 10 years ago when I had hair. At this point now, there's no point. There's no point.
Hey, reflecting a little more on Cowboys Eagles. So I was like looking, going through first cut at advanced numbers in the box scores today.
Yep.
And I was kind of surprised at how lousy Jalen Hurts' EPA number was.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like he didn't feel that bad. Like, what in the world? Like, and because like you think of the game and like it was a little fluky, like early, like some fumbles, like the couple of big fumbles. Like, yeah, shoot, they lost 3 fumbles in that game. Like, that's huge. Did you know that NFL Fast R, when they're in their EPA formulation and in the aggregation, that if you complete a pass to a receiver and then that receiver fumbles, it is credited to the quarterback as a negative EPA play. So 2 of Jalen Hurts' worst 3 plays yesterday were the Devontae Smith fumble and the AJ Brown fumble.
Yes.
And so you kind of wear your skill position players making mistakes, even if you do an enormously positive thing. Like Brock Purdy's second worst play yesterday was the Brandon Ayuk fumble where he completed, an awesome pass. It is like, oh, okay. So a little bit of a wrinkle and something important, context wise as you evaluate EPA stuff, I think. But did you think there was any signal or are you red flagging the Eagles after that, or was that kind of what you expected?
I'm red flagging them a little bit, but it's hard to say because they've just played like this murderer's row of games. And it's like a little narrative-y, right? But like, I would imagine that takes a toll on you, right? Just playing great team after great team after
Sure.
great team over and over. There was like those trends for years of teams being horrible ATS the week after they played the Steelers.
Of course.
Because it's just like such a physical game, and you're prepping so hard for that, and there's like a lack of motivation after that game and whatever. But I don't think they're a great team, but I still think they can win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think that they're flawed enough where they have no hope of rounding it together. What was most interesting for me yesterday, though, was the way that Micah Parsons dominated Lane Johnson.
Yeah, right.
And they intentionally lined him up on that side for the vast majority of the game, because I watch a ton of Cowboys games and he kind of splits his time all over the place, but he was lined up over Lane Johnson all game. And there was a couple times where he just like took him to task, and it was Trendy Rob is back. Here we go.
No, Terry Kill's writhing around him on the field in pain.
Man. Oh man.
He's okay. Is he okay?
This one looks.
He got horse collar-ished. It wasn't quite a horse collar, but it was kind of that mechanism of getting tackled.
Yeah. Yeah, not the Roy Williams special back in the day.
No. Was that did you get drop need? I forget the technique there.
There.
Anyway.
No, it's not. Is it a horse collar? I mean,
it's horse.
He does
collar,
have his hand in there, right?
Yeah.
The hip drop is what they call it.
Hip drop. Thank you. The hip drop. Yeah, his knee got a little.
And he's running off
there.
I mean, he's running off the field now. Like So, I mean, if George Silfides hasn't had a heart attack yet tonight, he's got to be close. Guy's just sitting there, like probably hands on his head, crying in pain.
Yeah,
just dealing with whatever's going on here. But
okay, well, that was a huge negative play. All right, to go back to your point on like the ability to get up for a regular season game week in, week out, as you're playing all these high profile opponents and you got a target on your back and your high leverage games. I will go to my grave that the 16-0 Patriots, they probably should have lost week 13 to the Ravens at Baltimore, if you remember. They got very lucky to win that game. And then after they were past that, it was kind of like, oh, now the pursuit for perfection is real. And it was like that, felt like that ground them down every week. It was like, more and more of a grind for them. And they weren't anywhere close to as good of a team once they got into the playoffs, as you saw, like the team that was beating like the Redskins 52-7. And the Bills 56-10. Like they weren't the same team by the time they were at the end of the season because of the physical toll of getting up every week, I thought. And I think if they had lost to the Ravens in that game, they'd probably have dropped one more game in the season and they're like a 2-loss team, but they probably win the Super Bowl that year. And I think for sure the Eagles probably come out of this maybe a little bit better. I definitely think they didn't have to show many of their cards to the Cowboys yesterday about how they want to try to attack that team if they run into them again in the playoffs. But that was a huge equity swing for them, because now they're in a little bit of a dice. They don't control their own destiny for the 1 seed anymore,
right?
Which is huge because playoffs going through the link is, that's what is that, like a plus 25%, like getting to the Super Bowl for them. It's huge.
Massive.
It's huge.
Just having the 1 seed is so massive nowadays, being the only team. I mean, if you recall back in the day when there was 2 bye weeks, that first week, underdogs were very live. And then week 2, there was just like all the home favorites would win and just like win by margin. It was so unfair to these teams that played the wild card game to go on the road after these teams had bye weeks. It was, it got out of hand.
Raheem Mostert is fast, man.
Oh yeah.
That dude
he's like as fast as A-Chain, man. Like they've I actually believe, I could be wrong. I'm very well wrong. But I think at one point in the year, I was looking through next gen stats to see who had been topped at the top speed this year, and it was actually Raheem Mostert.
I think you're right. I don't know if he's been passed, but he did have it at like the halfway point. I think he had the fastest.
We got, who is this? Jaden Reed. I can't tell who it is for the Packers that's in the end zone here. I think it was Reed on like an end around. Yeah. Jaden Reed, first TD.
Is that good? I have no idea.
It's not. The only thing that's good about this is it actually forces DeVito to have to throw more. They're in like the game state now where handing off to Barkley ain't going to get it done. But there was a play on this drive that was a pass over the middle to AJ Dillon where I don't know, like, I don't know who I was watching out there, break tackles and in the open field, but it didn't look like AJ Dillon to me. I don't know what they've done with the actual AJ Dillon because he was just, he had some speed in the open field. I don't know what the hell was going on, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on.
The Raheem Mostert fact that blew my mind that I saw last week. He's 2 years older than Todd Gurley.
Mostert?
Yeah. Yeah. Mostert is like 30. Mostert is 31.
Yeah.
He was born in 92. He's imagine having having a season like this where you're going to probably lead the league in rushing at age 31. 2 years older than Todd Gurley.
Yeah. That is a tough one. Fuck, man, I cannot believe that. There's like some incredible, I mean, a few weeks ago, G-Stack George was throwing out some random Dolphins facts on here, not actual Miami Dolphins, like the animal, in the wild. And I was amazed by that, but you've topped them. You've topped them, Drew, with this one.
Raheem Mostert currently, by the way, in the number 9 spot for fastest ball carrier this year. It was week 2, 43-yard rush touchdown. He got up to 21.6 miles per hour.
Almost as fast as me in the open field. Almost.
We had a new entry. We had 2 new entries into the fastest ball carrier. This guy top 5 this last week, which is weird because usually this time of year you're not seeing guys explode speed. One of them was your Dallas Cowboys own Kevontae Turpin.
Yeah, Turpin would be up there.
He hit 21.9 on a 22-yard rush. The other was Chase Brown of the Bengals on his 54-yard
I was about to say Brown.
Touchdown.
Chase Brown, Canadian, by the way. Canadian.
All right.
Just had to point that out. Just we get very excited when our athletes do well in American sports.
Mm-hmm. What temperature? What's your temperature on the Jake Browning experience?
It's getting hotter. It is getting
heating up.
Yeah,
betting market obviously very, very happy with his performance. They got bet like that was one of the hotter sides last week, and that was it felt dicey for a moment, but ultimately it was a no sweat. He looks pretty good, I have to say, which is not something I would have ever thought considering how college evaluators were kind of puking on his Washington tape.
We forget about, we don't include Chase Claypool in the discussion. We only talk about them when they're good. When Chase Claypool was making catches down the sidelines for the Steelers, he was Canadian. Now he's not. He's not anymore. You guys, Americans, can have him. You guys can have him. Drew, before I let you go here, I guess I was going to ask you for a bet this week that you like, but I guess you've already given it. You really like the Jets against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what that price looks like, but hopefully it's double digits. I think the Jets are a good play.
You're just rooting for the Dolphins to run it up here then, like big time.
I wouldn't mind a Tennessee cover just because for contest purposes, that was like the lowest pick side of the week.
I see.
So if Tennessee covers, I'm not going to be sad, but if Miami does what they look like they're going to do and just runs it down their throats all day, then I think you're going to get a good price on the Jets. Not a lot of other sides really screaming at me as we look across the board here. But I did get some early action on Cleveland, Chicago under 38.5 today.
Yep.
Another tackle done for the Browns. And actually, wasn't it DeJuan Jones? I think his name was.
Yeah,
he was
DeJuan
the backup. Jones. He was playing well. like very well. And Flacco quite statuesque. Bears defense still a buy, even though the market does not seem to understand that they're a top 5 unit.
Right.
And Justin Fields against Myles Garrett. Sign me up. Yeah. Under City. That looks quite solid. Guy holds onto the ball for an eternity. He's in deep trouble in that one.
Big time.
I don't know if there's a bigger delta in week to week opponent than going up against Detroit and now having to go to getting Detroit defense at home and now having to go against Cleveland on the road. It's pretty
massive.
It's a pretty big step up in level of competition. So yeah, I think that has like 13 to 10 whiffs of Browns finding a way to get it done, like they did in the Steelers game, like that kind of lack of offensive explosion. So yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Drew.
All right, man.
Tua tried to give up a pick 6 here, but he couldn't quite. The Tennessee defender couldn't quite hold on. But appreciate you joining, as always. People know where to find you. I don't even think I have to plug your stuff anymore. But
yeah,
Deep Dive Pod, Drew and Andy.
Best of luck finding my content anywhere. See you guys.
Drew Dinsick. Oh man, hard to follow up, Drew. We're gonna try. I told Moretto when he's booking guests, we already have G Stack George. We have our quota of Greeks. I don't want another Greek joining us. But he went and he got me Pisky. What's up, Pisky? How's it going, man?
What's going on, Rob? How's it going, man? Sorry, I'm gonna turn up my lighting here because it looks like I'm a little.
No problem. It's okay. We've had darker before. We just had GRP on this past week. He was in his dungeon downstairs showing me his notebooks and stuff. So
can you believe what that guy is doing in this space? Holy shit!
Okay, well, what is your opinion on that? Are you a fan?
I am, honestly. Okay, let's be real about it. I think he pumps his own tires a little bit, but in terms of entertainment and for what I'm in, I'm not breaking down games. Like coming in here after this whale capper guy, your viewers are going to be severely disappointed because I can't name you fucking 10 players in Monday Night Football. That's the way I roll, Maybe a couple fantasy guys, but that's about it. But the content creation and like the entertainment value of GRP wins is through the roof, and I got to give him credit. I don't even know if he realizes, though, to be honest.
I think that he's very self-confident, for one. I think you kind of have to be to do the videos that he does, but he's just really entertaining. Like, why? Here's the thing with GRP that I really like about him. I have a large following. This is not to like brag or anything, but I have to be very careful with the things I say sometimes, right? And sometimes I wish that I was just more of an unknown and I could speak my mind and do whatever. He's not an unknown, but he says all the things that I would never say publicly. And I'm like, yes, GR, thank you for saying that publicly. So yeah, it's that's what I love about that guy, man.
He's very wholesome, though. I got to give it to him. Like he wears his emotions on the sleeve. He's kind of like my co-host on the Always Betting podcast, Mr. Godfather. They tell it how it is, and it's real, man. And that's what people dig these days. Is just that real, to the core, and you're putting yourself out there, and you don't give a shit what comes back. And I mean, it's tough to do that because I try to do it every single day. If you follow me on TikTok, I'm trying all kinds of different wild shit. That's what it is. It's hard to get that to that level.
I mean, look at this guy, man. I mean, he's in the U.S., so we know that this is not a keg dinner, but it does look like it could have been plated at the keg, Pisky.
Yeah, it really does. It has that background look, and I mean, I don't know how I feel about these food selfies. Like, the food was fine, but when you incorporate the selfie, I actually put a poll out on my Instagram stories today. I'm like, this guy, inspires me to get in front of the camera every day and talk to my audience. But I don't know what to do. I said, what do you guys think? Should I, incorporate the food selfies? And the answers, the votable answers were yes, and please no. And thank God, majority of the people click on the please no, Pisky. Don't go that far with it.
One day, GRP will find Instagram because he treats Twitter like it's Instagram, basically. But it took him this long to find Twitter and start tweeting. So we probably got like another decade before he gets around to Instagram. But he's got the platforms confused. That's basically what I gain out of that.
I think he'd be even better on TikTok.
Yeah.
Honestly, the following there, it would snowball in a hurry. And but again, that's probably a little bit too high now. But you know what? It's entertaining. I got to give it to him. It's entertaining. Everyone knows about the notebook. Everyone knows about the bleeding cuticle and how he's got a new notebook starting this week. That's huge. That's huge. Like, that's crazy that we're talking about this, right?
It actually is, but it's so good. Honestly, we do need more. I'm kind of with this. Needs more GRPs and fewer trolls. I think it would be a better place. God. But he kind of is a troll. He just doesn't realize he is a troll, right? That's
Yeah, I have no idea, but I liked recently that he was in Chicago and went out to watch the game, and as soon as he walked into wherever he went, everyone was chirping him about his Steelers play. Like, that is so funny, and I think I'm paying too close attention, honest. Me and this tax man, you notice how close the tax man is basically the producer for GRP.
Yeah, who is that guy? Does anyone know who the tax man is? Has anyone met this guy? Yeah.
He's more obsessed with them than I am, though. I can say there is one out there that is more obsessed, and it's definitely the tax man.
Yeah, that guy's there for sure. You ever had one of these twisted teas before? You ever tried one of these?
Probably at some point. I'm not big on the sweet drinks, though. I got a couple.
Okay, this is. I was about to say this thing is like, I'm diabetic, so this is gonna actually kill me. But it's amazing. Like, I've never had one of these before. It is incredibly good. Jason, you've had this, right?
I gotta jump in there. They're amazing. When I was in university, this was like the go-to summer drink whenever it was warm outside, frost week, like the first weeks or the dying down weeks of like the end of the year. That was the summer drink, not the summer Corona. It was the twisted teas. We would get like me and my friends get like a 48 pack and just sit on the lawn, play lawn dice, play beer pong, whatever, and just rock back twisted teas responsibly, just like how we bet. So I just had to jump in and mention twisted teas. Very good. It's shocked you guys never tried them before.
Yeah, I hosted a Christmas party on Saturday night, and I just went to LCBO, bought a bunch of shit, assortment, variety, and had a few of these left over. And I'm like, it's the first time I cracked one open and tried it. I can't drink these. I will actually die from drinking enough of these, but they're amazing. Like, this is an amazing beverage. I would, if I was on like a cottage on the lake on like a floaty or something, and I had a dozen of these, game over. That would be the way to go out.
A dozen is a lot. That's a lot of sugar intake. I'm a high noons guy. You guys like the high noons?
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Seltzers
I like
good.
seltzers in general. Yeah. Again, diabetes friendly drink.
Yeah.
I'll drink a White Claw here and there as well. Do what I can.
White Claw?
Yeah.
No laws when you're on the claws. That's it.
Pisky, what are you drinking tonight?
I just got a couple of brewskis. So the thing
whistles?
Like completely.
Random assortment. The old
you
whatever's in the fridge. I like that.
I play hockey up in Etobicoke on Tuesday nights. Sorry, I'm trying to get this in front of the camera. And obviously, we do a rotation of who brings the pops. And lately we've been playing late at night, so there's always extra pops. So everyone's like, throw some in your bag. So in my fridge right now, there's an assortment of all kinds of random tall cans. And that's courtesy of the Dukes hockey team. Tuesday night beer leagues in Etobicoke.
Love it.
Do you have the games on in the background at all, Pisky?
I have my DAZN on one of my screens here. Yeah. I got
so you're
Titans Miami.
Gotta love DAZN and how they keep us like a minute behind the real time. Try live betting with DAZN. Jesus Christ, man! It's
no way.
Impossible.
No way. Honestly, you know how I live bet these days? I'm not proud of it. There's no games on. I simply have Spank Odds open and I just watch the numbers. That's it.
Yep.
There's no games on. There's no commentators. There's nothing. I just that's where I'm at. Obviously, those who know me, I know I've been in this industry for a long time. I consider myself a grizzled veteran, and I think when you get to a certain level, you just stop watching, and that's what level I'm at.
I'm not quite there yet. I don't know that I'll ever be because I actually love the pain. I can't describe it. I like the emotional ups and downs that go with betting and watching the game. Like even
Really,
I can look back on some of the losses now and laugh, but I couldn't trade it for anything, man. Like I just see stupid shit happen all the time. What brought it up was Bradley Chubb here on the Dolphins walked off the field and slammed his helmet down on the ground. Like people, idiotic helmet removal. Obvious 15-yard penalty keeps the drive going. I'm just thinking in my head, like if I had bet Miami here, I would, I don't know what I would be doing, but that's the most classic NFL thing ever.
Isn't it amazing? Like how many brain farts these guys have? Like you're in a professional environment like that, like getting paid a stupid amount of money, and then you do stupid shit like that. Like tough, tough.
These guys, they seem to confuse your Godfather with the Philly Godfather. Different Godfathers, people.
I don't want to talk about touts. I had a fucking battle with a tout this past week on fucking Twitter, and oh my God, like no, we're not talking about that. We're not giving them any time of day. We're not. No, the Philly Godfather is not my Godfather.
I see that you have now figured out who Francesco Greco is.
Oh my God, you got to tell me the story here. The Godfather and I have been going back and forth for the last 72. You got to explain to me. Okay, I'll be quiet for this.
What's he
Tell me
here?
something, Pizzola. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for?
Okay, Francesco Greco, this guy came out of nowhere for a long time and just started messaging me on Twitter nonstop, responding to things. My friend Pizzola can confirm or whatever. Yeah. And for the longest time, I thought that this was a very close friend of mine who was playing a practical joke because there weren't any videos at that time before. There weren't pictures. It was just an account. I know which John this is. This John might have been someone that I suspected of playing this practical joke at one point. So this is going on for years, and I'm trying to figure out who this is. And then, like, out of nowhere, these videos start surfacing, and I'm like, maybe this is a real person. Then one day, probably 3 or 4 years after this happens, he's messaging me saying, like, I'm going to come visit you in Toronto, right? And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. This guy's got a few screws loose. I don't think I'm gonna welcome him into my house. But he organized at this time. I had a betting partner that was named Frank Brank. Okay, and sounds like a made up name. It's his real name, Frank Brank. Francesco says, I will go visit Frank first in Pennsylvania, and then I will come see you in Toronto. I'm like, perfect. Do that. Go see Frank first. If Frank winds up dead, you're not coming anywhere near here. If Frank ends up living, I'll know. But Frank messages me that week. He's like, oh, yeah, this guy's staying in my house. And I'm like, this guy's staying in your house. Are you crazy? Whatever. He's like, oh, he's sleeping. He's here, whatever. And
what?
But Frank, he's like, this guy's totally normal. He showed up with his girlfriend from Italy, Valentina. They're normal. They're having a great time. So Francesco comes to Toronto. I meet this guy. He's like a normal guy. He's just like a totally normal, like Italian guy that he has like some weird tendencies. I took him out to like all the finest restaurants in Toronto. All he wanted to eat was like a margarita pizza. It was all he would order. I'm like, Francesco, get something else, man. I've been taking you out to all these places. He's like, no, margarita pizza. And I took him up the CN Tower, Pisky. I did him all the tourist things. I took him to Niagara Falls. We went on Maid of the Mist to get, this is us in Toronto. Yeah,
completely random.
Got him just completely random. He somehow showed up wearing the same clothes as me in that picture. I don't know how the hell that happened. But yeah, he's just totally normal. And we hung out for like a week, and then he went back home to Italy, and I don't know what happened to this guy again, but he's very abnormal, if you could tell online. So just a weird dude, man. I don't know.
Like the Godfather was asking me, and even our new mutual friend here, Mr. Giants Badgers. I love that episode, by the way. He reached out to me today. He's like, "Who is this guy? Is he like a sharp? Is he like how does he fit into the betting space?" And I'm like, "Dude, I have no idea. I said, I'm going to be talking to Rob tonight. I'll run it by him, but your guess is as good as mine. But man, oh man, like this guy like is nonstop. And it's like, so what? Is he just busting balls? Kind of like I do?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think so. Like there's a few things he does that absolutely drives me insane. I'll talk about the things that he does that drives me nuts. For one, he's got my phone number now, right? So he's got me on WhatsApp. Every single morning, I wake up to digital copies of like 20 Italian newspapers in my WhatsApp. Okay. Corriere della, Sicilia or whatever, like all these Italian newspapers he sends me every morning. Right. So whatever. I just don't read them. Right. I'm just like, move on. I ignore. But the way my WhatsApp works is it auto downloads these things. Right. So like every month, my phone is telling me like, you have no more space. You need to delete all this shit. And I'm looking and it's like, I got like 2 gigabytes of these Italian newspapers. So I'm telling this guy, dude, stop sending me these newspapers. Just stop. And then he'll stop for like a week. And then I just wake up to them again. And I'm like, Francesco, I don't read these newspapers, man. I don't read Italian. I don't care what's going on in Calabria, in Torino. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But he just does that nonstop, regardless. It's insane behavior, is what it is. But like that's for sure.
That's ridiculous.
One of them.
Okay.
I don't know what it was about me though. That like original, other than I just have an Italian last name, Pizzola. That's it. Like I don't know.
Is he in the sports betting space at all? Like I noticed some daily fantasy or something like that he's into.
Okay. Story number 2. This is how I first got to know him. Every year, he would send me a Twitter DM with a bet that he made before the beginning of the year it was a big bet. Okay. 5 figures usually on the best team in that sport to win the championship. It was always like Patriots to win the Super Bowl, Yankees to win the World Series, Golden State Warriors to win the NBA title. He would put like 10, 20K on that team future at the beginning of the year. And he fucking sweats every single one of those games like it's the last. Like the Yankees go on a 3-game losing streak and he's messaging me, fuck these Yankees bastards. Fuck the Yankees. This team has no heart, whatever. Like he's just losing it like on every single loss. And he infiltrated like a lot of these Facebook groups for these teams. He's on like a New York Yankees Facebook group and they all know him. And they're like, this guy's fucking nuts. Like, we got to ban this guy.
What the fuck? That is so bizarre. My God. Okay, so we got to be a little careful with Francesco then. Because I thought it was just a game between you two. You were good buddies. Maybe you grew up together or something. Or who knows? No.
I've met him. He was very normal to me in person. I didn't fear for my life after meeting him or anything like that. However, he's the type of guy that I would say you want to stay on his good side. You don't want to make an enemy out of Francesco.
No, he seems relentless. Nobody likes that. You know what I mean? Holy shit. Okay, so
but
wow,
he just tags me in random threads like Pornhub threads, and he's like, "Oh, my friend Pizzola can confirm. Regards from Italy." Like, I can't confirm shit. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about here.
Well, this explains why I've been so quiet in these exchanges. Because I'm like, well, Rob's a busy guy. I get it. But no, you can't encourage behavior like this because it's just going to fucking explode, right?
Man. I mean, he put me on Justin Trudeau. Like, this was another part of it. He's just photoshopping my head on everything. And we're like, who is this guy? Who's this guy that's photoshopping my head on everything? I don't know.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
He's a character. I try to remain on his good side. That's the most important thing for me is to
I
remain
think
honest.
so. I think so. Well, I appreciate the heads up, and we will we will
But here's the
tread
problem,
lightly
Pisky.
with the Francesco.
He's going to see this. He's going to wake up
Oh,
tomorrow,
100%.
and somehow he's going to have seen this. Okay. And now I'm going to tell you, you've interacted with him. You've told him, you've paid him attention to him. You've told him he's funny. This is it. This is your life for a year, bud. This is your life for 1 year. As soon as he gets a hold of your phone number, I don't even know what's going to happen.
Well, let's not do that. Let's not go that far. But
He'll find a way.
It's funny because the Godfather was a little nervoso with this guy. I'm like, no, it's Rob's buddy. Don't worry. It's just a joke.
Again, totally normal guy in real life.
Yeah.
I've been around the city. I fucking drove him and his girlfriend to Niagara Falls. I literally have pictures that I can find of like being on Maid of the Mist with these people. Okay.
Was that this past summer?
No, this was, let me see if we can probably bring up some of these photos on stream at some point, but I'll find out the exact time. I got to get through all these pictures of Fallsview Casino. July 2019. I was on.
Oh shit! Okay, so
yeah. So that was when he came out. But yeah, I mean, we had a blast. It's a good time. Normal guy. Then he goes home and he's he's tagging me in all these porno pictures, and his Pizzola can confirm, and like don't know what's going on, man.
Well, here you go. We'll add. Let's see what he does with this. Francesco, if you're watching or when you watch this, type in "Can she take it?" Shauna Lene into Google and let me know what you find.
I know who Shauna
one of my best buddies.
I know what's going to be found.
One of my best buddies was a director for Brazzers. Yep. And my first trip to Vegas was going to see him in Las Vegas, and and the morning of a shoot, the game show host never showed up. So he's like, "This, can you be a game show host?" I'm like, "Me, of course. I was built for this stuff." So there you go, Francesco. Have some fun.
Oh man, what a guy!
Yeah,
totally normal guy. Totally normal. I've lost track of these football games telling those stories. I missed a lot. It looks like I didn't miss anything really. Scores are the exact same.
Yeah,
props are still doing shit.
What are you cheering for tonight? I didn't catch any of that in the first segment.
Yeah, too many things that are going to lose. That's really what's going on tonight. I need to pull the Pisky and do these like Monday night. What day of the week is it? Monday night footballs live from the Keg Bar and Grill. Sit at the bar, order a steak, glass of wine. That's got to be my Monday night going forwards. Got to get a Keg sponsorship. Yeah.
The best. Shout out to some of my buddies, I think, that are catching this that come to me. And I send out the mass text. I'm like, boys, you know where I'm going to be. We usually like to do either Thursday nights or Monday nights, primetime games. And man, it's great. It's quality. You know all about the Keg. It's fantastic. Did you know that I know you're a little bit north in Toronto, right? Etobicoke area?
I'm in Kleinburg.
Oh, okay.
You know where that is? Woodbridge area.
Yeah, right. So near the Godfather. But there's a bar down here in Liberty Village that is a Buffalo Bills bar now.
Yep.
Local. Yeah, they show all the games and they play the games with sound. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about going to bars sometimes when you don't have the sound for the game. I can't handle that.
Especially here in Toronto, like nobody cares really about the NFL, but this bar is actually doing it. So I got to give credit where credit is due because that's pretty rare.
Yeah. Come on. You think do I look like a guy that's going to pay for pornography? If that's what you think is happening, you haven't figured me out yet. Wow, the Dolphins just got their punt blocked. This is electric right now.
Well, I see sevens everywhere now. So
is this going to be an offside or something? Sure. Maybe a.
Oh, I see a question. The Bills bar is in Liberty Village. It's called Local.
Local or locale? I can't remember. Does it have an E at the end or no?
I'm going to say no, but
Maybe you're right.
Don't quote me 100% on that. But yeah,
I've been there before.
Oh,
but,
yeah, yeah, it's a good vibe. Like honestly, they have giveaways and stuff, and it's very Bills oriented. All the servers and stuff are wearing Bills stuff, and yeah, pretty good time.
Yeah, I mean, can't beat that.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm a schlep here. I committed to doing a live watch along for all these primetime games all year long, and here I am.
You got a pretty good following though. Like there's a lot of interaction here, and I saw a lot of thumbs up prior to.
Yeah, people were ripping your internet connection for a little bit. It cleared up though. Now it's good, but it's not quite as bad as the GRP connection.
Oh, you don't have to talk to me about that. Our podcast right now is like we're still very like baseline. We use this StreamYard stuff, and man, oh man, it was audio problems for the first 6 weeks of doing it, and this time I had a Wi-Fi connection issue, and then the lights went out on me. Like it's just fucking gong show. But you know what I mean? I think it adds character a little bit. People can put up with it.
Well, we went through the same growing pains before, right? We had our original Circles Off studio when we first had you on to do that episode of Circles Off was in Thornhill. Giants just got stopped on 4th down, so Green Bay is going to get the ball in midfield. But that was in Thornhill. We rented a mansion and then we built a studio in the basement of that. But we didn't have a direct internet plug in there. You know. We went through Bell, we went through Rogers, we tried and we just had all sorts of problems all the time. We're now downtown. We're at King and Peter, and we have office space there, and that's where we built the studio. But you get all sorts of weird shit that happens when you're in like a commercial building afterwards. Like fire alarm goes off, and like when you're recording, and you're just fucked for half an hour because they got to call the fire truck, and you know it's blaring, and they can't turn that shit off, and there's all sorts of weird shit that happens when you're doing content that you just don't even think could actually happen. We're in the same building, Jamil. Yes. I used to work in this building when I worked for the Score, and it's all come full circle for me because that's where we're at now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to Johnny about that at Bet Bash, and he said we were supposed to have an NFL Sunday date, and we haven't had that yet, and we're running out of time, so we got to maybe.
Dude, you think this guy's going to join you on an NFL Sunday? This guy's live betting the entire day. There's no way.
Okay, good.
He said that out of courtesy, probably. I mean, listen, I won't quote him, but yeah. He's busy.
Okay. Well, thank you, because I felt like I was dodging him a little bit because I'm like, fuck it, you know what I mean? To get away from the screens on a Saturday and Sunday, and I'm doing my stuff on a lot smaller of a scale than I used to. Trust me, but it's still nuts. Like the weekends are insane, right? So to get away from that, like it feels really really strange, and you're out of sorts, and it's not the Pisky everyone deserves to be around. Trust me, because you're always thinking about like, fuck, I'm missing something, or yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Bet Bash again this year. I mean, it can't come soon enough for me. Listen, no offense, Spanky. It's not Bet Bash. And I just need a Vegas trip very badly. Like I'm itching for a Vegas trip, and I haven't had one in a while. And it's so hard for me to get away during football season. Like doing what you guys did, Pisky, with like driving across the U.S., ending up in Vegas. Like it's amazing that you guys pulled that off, but like I can't even imagine even getting away for like fucking a day or 2 days. It's nuts now.
You got a lot on your plate with the whole Hammer Network and everything, and you do your own betting, and you're an originator. I don't think people understand how fucking rare that is, because honestly, there's maybe like how many originators do you think there are out there? Like let's say in Toronto.
It's really. In recent years, it's shifted a lot towards top down. Like when I first started modeling games, like everyone was trying to do that at that time. Everybody, because DFS was big and everyone was like modeling their own players and whatever. And then over time, once regulation happened, we're in Ontario. We got like fucking 40 sports books you can bet into. Some US states have a lot as well. Everybody kind of shifted to this top down, right? Let's use Pinnacle as like the true line, and let's go pick off all these other prices everywhere else, right? Yeah, which I don't blame anyone for trying to do that. There's money to be had, of course. But at some point, what a lot of people are starting to I actually had a conversation with someone, like a phone call this morning with someone who was just like, Rob, like, I'm making a ton, but like now I'm starting to get cut off everywhere. I can't bet anywhere else. And everyone's kind of having the same problems. It's like they make a lot of cash early with the top down. And that's not to say that, you know, you can't succeed with that going forwards, but it's hard to maintain that. Like, you need liquidity to get that done.
It gets hella complicated. And you know, I'm kind of lucky because I've had all the experience, you know, with the Banfield group stuff. That was my role in the group, right? Is just finding ways to get around, you know, getting shut down every 2 seconds and stuff like that. But it is not easy. So, you know, I always push people towards, you know, Spanky's podcast episode, winning is just the beginning. Because once you start to win and you're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. You know what I mean? Like you said, you match up Pinnacle against other books and you can make decent money doing that. Like, honestly, that's what I do. But it comes to a time where you lose all your accounts. And now what? Now what do you do? Right? And then you have to get very creative. And then, like our mutual friend Antonino De Rosa said, it becomes an artwork of trying to stay alive. And it's fucking tough. It's frustrating. It's time consuming. You know, the Godfather's with me. He's just learning all this for the first time, and he's like, "This is fucking outrageous."
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, man. That's the game that we play, you know, and you know, that's what we try to do on our podcast. You know, it's not as technical as you guys. You guys are much more, you know, if you want to learn, you go to Circles Off. You want to goof around and just hear about our experiences, day-to-day experiences in all these Ontario sports books. Come have a listen to ours, because that's essentially what we talk about. Every week we have a Ontario sports book of the week that we shit on, and you know what I mean? Tell it how it is.
Pisky, I love following you on Twitter. I just have a question for you. Sorry to jump in here, guys. Are you guys like kind of pro having like a minimum risk, like a minimum amount that you're allowed to bet, like regulation wise, right? Like if the regulators were to imply saying like input like a certain amount, anyone, no matter what, even if you're limited to the max amount, you have to be able to offer X amount on sides, X amount on totals, X amount on props. Like, is that something you guys would want to do? Could it hurt the system maybe? Like, what are your thoughts on that in general?
I would love that personally. That would be phenomenal. But you asked a very important question there, is would it hurt the system? Because me personally, I can't beat Pinnacle. I'm not an originator. I don't know how to beat them. I've lost to them my entire life. So I need these, you know, shitty ass books to fucking pick on and, you know, get an extra point, half a point here and there, an extra juice here and there. So in a perfect world, sure. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for a lot. The level I'm at now, you know, give me a nickel. Give me a nickel on a total, and I'm fucking happy. I'm ecstatic. But now it's like, you know, you got to grind out. You're like, okay, DraftKings limited me to fucking 200 on totals, 400 on sides. And it's like, even that you can kind of make work. But then when, you know, you get the B-Wins of the world. Sorry, I shouldn't be shitting on books here. I don't know if you guys have affiliations with these.
No. Listen, we're partnered with Pinnacle, and like proud to be partnered with Pinnacle, because you know what?
As you should be.
They treat everyone the same equally. They post their bet limits on site. Like that's the most frustrating thing for me, right? Mm-hmm. Is like you go and place a bet, and sometimes it's not even a big bet. You go drop like $200-300 because you just want to have a sweat on a game, and then you just get hit with a message that says like, you know, we're not taking this bet. You can have $5, but guess what? You can have it at this worst price because we've already just moved the like. It's honestly it's a joke.
It is a joke, and I don't like what Canby does. Canby basically says, "Okay, submit to traders," and then they have you by the balls. And you know, I need to get a bet in here. I need to know what I'm kind of liquidity I'm getting, right? Mm-hmm. So they have you by the balls. We've accepted $42, and we're going to think about the other $364 that we want to bet, right? And then it's like, okay, and then you know, sometimes they'll take it, other times they don't. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the worst is sometimes they fucking move the line. They're like, oh yeah, no, rejected and moves the line. Like, oh, come on. You know, so it's nothing but a fucking struggle. It really is. But yeah, it would be nice. Like, I don't know. The regulators, I don't think, are intelligent enough. I have experience working with that side of things. And I really wish that they would, you know, bring on a fucking industry expert like a Mr. Pizzola here or something like that. I'm asking for a level playing field. And I'm not saying let the sharps do whatever the hell they want, because we know they're in the business of making money too. What I want to see is something like that, a minimum bet for everyone. It doesn't matter, and you give me my nickels, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only reason why I brought this up is because I had a friend who got limited who's like places like the dumbest bets. He's not like a winning sports better long term at all, but he got limited at like some shitty books, like very, very like small amounts. And he shouldn't be. Like, I see what he plays, and it's just crazy to see. I'm going to jump back, but before I do, I just want to let everyone know that Rob did message in the chat saying he would finish the duet with Francesco if we can get to 300 likes. So please smash that like button. Yeah, it's great song. Can't wait to hear that. So make sure we get to that 300 like mark, guys. Thank you.
At some point, I will do a duet with Francesco. If we do 300 likes, I will do a duet with Francesco. It will.
You do one with Francesco. I'll do one with the Godfather. I've been on his ass to do a duet with me with that Ed Sheeran Andrea Bocelli song for years. So if you guys find a way, we'll find a way.
Yeah. Then it was the big one for me that a lot of people wanted. They kept asking me to do was when the NFL went to Germany. They had that John Denver song that was playing, "Take Me Home, Country Road." That one,
that's a
and everyone wanted me to like. We kept asking for likes to get the likes up enough that I would do a duet with one of our producers for that one, but we never quite got to the number that thankfully we didn't get to the number we needed. I can't sing.
That would be uncomfortable. So. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. I've been watching these games in the background. It's not a whole lot going on. It's been a real grind for having two games at once.
I apologize, man. Like I said, Whale Capper before me knows all the players inside out, and I am just not that guy, right? I'm into the betting space, but I do not pay attention to the players at all.
I'm not into like the full like live analysis of every single play either. Personally, I think there needs to be like a good balance over the course of a stream. When the games get important, you kind of need to be talking about the games, but if you want a full play-by-play of the game, you just watch the game with the commentary on. The people that are here, exactly. They don't want a full play-by-play of the game. We react to good stuff or important things that happen. Tua's playing like a bag of shit tonight. That's what's happening. And that's it.
Did Tyreek ever come back into the game? I need him to catch a pass over 31.5 yards. He didn't come back?
I don't think he came back into the game. He ran off. Yeah, I think the only reason I say that is because I see a lot of people on Twitter already asking for refunds, Pisky. Maybe you can ask for a refund too. What do you think?
No, I respect the industry too much to do that. But you know what?
It's a joke.
Why I hate betting overs. I know like the over is a public play amongst a lot of bettors, majority of bettors, right? If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, I hate betting overs because of exactly that. I rather get fucking lucky on an injury than unlucky.
Yeah.
It's I much rather go, but sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a top down guy. So, if the market tells me to go over, I'm going over. I don't even think about it. I just let the market tell me.
Yeah. MILF Hunter says he's questionable to return.
Okay. So
but he hasn't played one. They basically, to anyone who leaves a game, I see guys get carted off. They broke their leg on the field and they're questionable to return. Doubtful to return. Well, I mean, his ankle is pointing the other way. I would, he's probably doubtful to return. Yes. Like some of these guys these injury reports are too much. These injury reports are too much. We got to get out for a drink before the end of the year, man. We got to meet up in the
man, for sure. Yeah, let's do it. We have to try to find a quiet night. I know those are next to impossible at this time of year, but I really like what you guys are doing with all the content. I'm seeing G Stack George everywhere. Every time I log on to something, he's got another fucking podcast going. So
yeah,
shout out to him.
It's very cheap labor. It's very cheap labor, so we can have him do a lot of stuff, and because he doesn't have a huge following, we don't have to pay him shit. That's I'm a businessman through and through.
That's how you get good at this stuff is reps. You got to keep taking the reps, and if you put in the time, it's gonna pay off in the long run. I'm positive, or at least I hope, because I'm putting a lot of time and effort into my shit too.
Actually, now that you've said that, circles off this week is going to be me and G Stack George. G Stack is filling in for Johnny, so the episode that comes out on Thursday is going to be me and George. we got a topic that's very related to NFL that we're going to be going through this week, which is basically like market timing and when you should be placing your bets and how to determine when to place your bets, which I think is a lot of people are not very good at that overall. So I think that'll be an interesting one. But we're also going to do a classic segment that we break out once a month, which is tweets that trigger us, where me and George will find tweets that triggered us, where we are like visibly, audibly got upset reading them. But if you in the chat have any tweets over the course of the last week, month, anything like that, that you read and you really like got aggravated by, drop them in the chat. I'll go through them tonight. We might incorporate some into the show as well, because I have like a small, I follow a certain number of people on Twitter, but I don't check tweets regularly. Most of the stuff that I see that drives me up a wall, my friends send it to me. Some other creators at the Hammer send it to me. So I don't have a lot of visibility into a lot of the BS that's happening out there. If you do have any tweets that trigger you, drop them into the chat over the course of the night, and I'll mark them and I'll go through them and maybe incorporate them into the show this week as well.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Someone says you need to send the dude from this week. Pisky. I think I know what he's talking about. It's we're not mentioning his name because we are not giving this mofo more exposure, because I'm pretty sure he's a marketing guy. No, he's definitely a marketing guy.
We won't mention the name, but this is the guy who made the challenge for like 500K or whatever.
Yeah, yes. That I think he poked. I think I just took the bait. He poked me and wanted to get a reaction out of me. So what I did is I took what he sent me and posted it to all the wolves on Twitter, because I know there's a lot of sharps on there that are very intelligent and nasty. So I'm like, yeah, you deal with them, and they did. But man, oh man, the people that know a thing or two about engagement and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure we put money in that guy's pocket, and that makes me more aggravated than anything that he said. So I'm not saying his name anymore.
You know what? I had like a handful of people reach out to me that were like, you should do this. And I'm like, this ain't happening. Like, it's never going to happen. This is just like farming for engagement type of stuff. You had it with a dweeb a few months ago. That dude out in Vegas that looks like he does way too many drugs. Which one? There's too many of those. There's too many of those. The Greek, Janny the Greek or something. Oh, Yanni the Greek. Yes. Yeah. Don't talk about it or whatever. One thing I am good at, Pisky, is I am a natural born shit disturber. I know how to rile people up and fucking get under their skin. And as soon as I accuse that guy of having fake bills, I didn't even have to accuse him. I just had to say that there's been some questions. We looked at the video. We don't know. That guy was like, he recorded his rebuttal video and he was shaking, man. He couldn't handle it. I watched every moment of all of it. It was great entertainment. But yeah, I honestly, for guys that actually perform in this industry, guys like that who are just after your money, the people watching this, that's all they're after. That really pisses me off because they don't know what it's like, and all they're doing is fucking yapping, and it's disgusting. It gives the industry a black eye, and it has throughout the time of sports betting. Right? If you go all the way back to the who's that dude that used to always scream? He works for Barstool now. He was on all those stupid commercials. Stu Feiner? Stu Feiner. Turn beat red in the face. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Wow. This is a huge completion down the field here. DeAndre Hopkins, what a catch, man. There's one thing about Levis. He'll fire it down the field. But it's going to be interesting. Well, this is going to be an interesting second half line. I'm going to break it down with Noops, and we'll bring him in here shortly as well. But Miami's got like a ton of injuries on the O-line going into the second half. Tyreek Hill is out. I mean, ordinarily, I'd love to back Miami in the spot, trailing at the half against a defense that's not very good in pass coverage, but a lot has changed since the beginning of the game. So it'll be interesting. Pisky, before I let you go here, I do appreciate your time and you joining me tonight, considering you're not
Thanks for
the
having
biggest
me, man.
football fan. But I will let you know as well that the Leafs scored a game-tying goal with 7 seconds left. I know how much I know how much you love the Toronto Maple Leafs franchise, so I had to let you know that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yes, I'm a big anti-Leafer. 31 other teams. Yeah, 31 other teams I'm a fan of, not these guys. So
All right, now I can't promote his podcast. I can't. It's impossible. No, check it out. The Always Betting Pod with Pisky. He's a great guy. Appreciate you, Pisky, and we'll catch up before the end of the year in Toronto.
Sounds good, my man. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all. Pisky, everyone. We have filled our Greek quota for the month. G-Stack, George, and Pisky. I'll have to talk to Moretto and be like, that's it on the Greeks for the rest of the year. Especially the Greeks that don't like the Leafs. That I can't stand for. We'll watch a second and goal play here really quickly for the Titans from the 10-yard line. It's going to have to be quick if they want to run 2 plays. Got it out quick. Looked like it could have been PI in the end zone. Ain't going to be PI in the end zone on Xavier Howard back in the game. Man, this is simultaneous action. Thank you again, Roger, for putting these games on at the exact same time so we could go to the half at the exact same time. The Roger Goodell experience, people. 36-yard attempt incoming for the Packers. Carlson. That one. Oh, they brought Folk out, right? Wow. They're not even going to take another shot. I mean, in fairness, Levis did feel like he was dying to throw a pick there. He was dying to throw a pick. All right, so we're going to have 10-7 Titans. And in all likelihood, 10-7 Packers at the half as well. We'll talk about the first halves. We'll break down the second half. We'll see what the lines are as they're posted in real time here at Pinnacle for the second half. But by popular demand, we have a new guest here on Forward Progress tonight. I give out props at the start of every single show. First touchdown scores, anytime touchdown scores. And the entire chat is just blasting. I tailed Noops tonight on first touchdown scores. Noops is the man. Noops is winning every single time. So by popular demand, the people have spoken. Noops is in. Good to talk to you for the first time, Alex. I've seen your stuff for a long time, especially back in the day with Andy. I know you're working with FTN now, close friend of mine, Frank Brank as well. So it's good to have you here for the first time, man.
No, I appreciate it. I think we got to shake hands at Bet Bash real quickly, but didn't get a chance to really talk at all. So pleasure to be on. Huge fan of what you guys are doing at the Hammer, but I will say I thought there'd be more MC Hammer type related stuff. Now, maybe as a child of the late 80s, early 90s, probably one of the stranger facts about me. If you knew me when I was a 5-year-old boy, I had a cassette tape that had a Tom Petty album on one side and the MC Hammer album on the other. So I would like some more MC Hammer content, I guess is really what I'm asking.
It's low-hanging fruit. I mean, I grew up in that time period as well. I personally just cannot do the MC Hammer stuff because I actually looked for a while and could not find a pair of those pants that actually fit me, unfortunately.
It's hard to find the parachute pants. You got to get to some, I guess, like local thrift stores or something like that. Or maybe what you do is you just buy like a triple XL and bring it to somebody, have them like shrink the waist. You can make your own.
I mean, there's something we got to be able to do at some point or another. There's something we got to be able to do. I'm curious, what's your viewing experience been like? Are you following both of these games in real time as the Packers just kicked out of bounds here for some godforsaken reason? Like, I don't know what's happening here, but it's really challenging with two at the same time.
It's so bizarre. The NFL from time to time seems like they just have a leg ahead of everybody in terms of all just the access they get. I mean, I can't imagine another league being able to take over Christmas from the NBA. The NFL has basically done that, but then they do stuff like this. We got 2 Monday night games. Don't spread them out. God forbid we be able to capture viewers for, 7 to 8 contiguous hours as opposed to this. They do it all the time. And again, I know everybody likes to complain on Sunday. There's 9 early games and then 3, but this to me is way stupider.
Yeah. I had read that they were testing out over the last couple of years, they've been testing out some different doubleheader type of scenarios games at the same time, games spaced out to see what's going to draw like bigger audiences, what's going to be bigger viewership. But I mean, this sucks, man. It's like I get it. A lot of people have 2 devices nowadays and they can watch 2 in real time, but space them out a little bit more. I mean, that just to me makes the most logical sense, but I don't think the NFL is the most logical league, Alex.
Yeah, it would be that, or I'd ask ESPN, have a channel with both games on, God forbid. Do like a screen split on ESPN2 or something like that. Like, give us some opportunity, because you're right, a lot of people, and what I've been doing is I have one on my screen and then one on my iPad, but again, it's, that's not fun. Can you just give it to me on one screen, God forbid? I know that's asking for a lot.
Yeah, it's nuts. We got our second half line posted here for Dolphins and Titans at Pinnacle. So second half number is Dolphins -7. The total is 21.5. Again, like I think this ordinarily would be a smash spot for the Dolphins, but now you're down to backup left tackle, backup center, backup right guard. Tyreek Hill hasn't come back into the game at all. It's just, it's tough for me to do anything with this because I don't have any faith in the Titans whatsoever to hold the lead. I don't know, Noops. You have any thoughts on the second half here?
It's an ugly, ugly game, and it's something that I didn't get the first touchdown score today, but I had bowling league tonight, and every week I go to bowling league, and people ask me, because I'm a bettor, who's going to win the football game, and a few people came over and said, all right, why don't I just take all my money in my account, just bet it on the Miami Dolphins money line. There's no way they're going to lose this game. And I was like, well, what if Tyreek Hill turns his ankle in the first 5 minutes? What if there's a weird goal line turnover? And they all were just staring at me for the rest of the night because they think like I'm Nostradamus or something. But it feels like an ugly game. It feels like a weird game. And to be honest, I don't know if I handicap all parts of the NFL games well enough. So I guess maybe the question I'd have for you is, in my short memory, thinking through it, it feels like the Dolphins to me are a little bit of a front runner when they get in situations like this where they don't have a lead, where they aren't able to get up by a touchdown or two and then just hammer you with a Shane, with Mostert, with all those running backs, that things get a little bit weird. And if that's the case, this feels kind of like a Titans game. Now, I don't know if I'm ready to bet the Titans, but that maybe leads me towards an under. It just seems like it's ugly. And without Tyreek, there's less space for the Dolphins, and I don't know how good McDaniels is on the fly at adjusting for that.
That's a good point. I mean, it's tough for me because stylistically, I feel like Miami has such a matchup advantage against Tennessee in the sense that Tennessee just has been destroyed in the passing game all year. Explosive plays left and right. And at some point, I would figure Miami would be able to get something going that's able to exploit that secondary. Like Christian Fulton's out today too. It's already a bad secondary. They're missing their best defensive lineman in Jeffrey Simmons. It's honestly a pretty surprising result for me, even with the Dolphins injuries right now. But I just can't, I can't get to it right now. I think it's a good price. Second half money's under's taking money right now. Barry Horse released the under in real time. Yeah. That's part of the reason why, but that's probably the look. Like Tennessee's going to want to salt this away. Going back many years, it's a different Titans team now than it is the team under Ryan Tannehill. But they are a very second half heavy running team when they have leads. We haven't seen it a lot this year, but historically speaking, these Vrabel teams second half love to run the ball, keep the clock moving. Dolphins O-line is struggling. It's hard to argue against that second half underlook. I just don't think there's a viable bet right now. Honestly, I don't. I think it's a fine line.
I agree. It's like you said, I was hoping maybe for like a 23 or a 24, maybe the market would forget that the Dolphins had some injuries and just kind of put up a Dolphins second half line. But you're right. They didn't. I think that they were sharp enough to look at and go, Tennessee has a lead. Now, do you know who gets the ball in the second half? I missed who got it on the kickoff.
Oh, that's a good. Tennessee got it on the kickoff because they went 3-0. So Miami's going to start with the ball.
Yeah, so that does help Miami a little bit. Honestly, if Tennessee was getting it first, like you said, I'd expect them to come out, try to salt it away. And if there's one thing Vrabel knows how to do, it's that skill that a lot of people have in Madden where you give him the ball and all of a sudden there's 8-9 minutes off the clock. So That's kind of where I am. I think it's under, but like you said, it's 21. If it was 23, I'd want to go under. 21 looks pretty good. Again, the second half line, it's 7. I'm inclined to take Tennessee +7, which is plus money right now. I wonder if we get to 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at first half box score metrics, pretty even altogether. Net yards pretty similar. Miami 3 more net yards, but in terms of average yards per play, Dolphins at 5.8, Titans at 5.2. That's a little bit skewed, and that's always going to be skewed because I think Will Levis, I mean, he does like to attack downfield. He's not scared to throw that deep ball. We saw it to DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the half there, but not a lot of separating these teams in the first half box score. So that's logically would just mean like the 7 is appealing in the second half here. But God, I don't like the Titans at all, especially on the back end. And I mean, at some point, I do think even without Tyreek Hill, some of the explosive plays are going to come from Miami.
You would think it's just a matter of time, and I guess maybe I'd feel a little bit better. Tennessee's run defense has been solid, but Miami might be able to get those plays again with some sort of, they run that Shane jet sweep, they do something with Mostert. There's still enough ability for them to be creative there. So I am curious to see what McDaniels does at halftime, but Vrabel with a lead, and again, this is one game. It's not the same as every other game. He's generally been pretty good, so it's a tough spot.
No, good point on Vrabel with the lead. Second half line here for Packers Giants. Packers laying 2.5. The total is 17.5. Now, Green Bay ends the first half with a -2 turnover margin, and they still go with a 3-point lead into the half. I mean, the Giants have hung around here. This is one where I might be interested in laying the 2.5 with Green Bay second half.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was expecting a 3.5. Green Bay's been a great second half team, so I'm with you. Let's do that. Green Bay -2.5 looks really nice.
Yep, I'm going to bet that right now. Small play, whatever. It's second half line. I haven't been following the game like extremely closely, but yeah, I mean, that was not a great first half from Green Bay in terms of losing the turnover battle by 2, and they still go into the halftime with the lead. That's usually a decent indicator. I always worry about teams like Green Bay and how they're going to play with the lead as well. And in terms of like, they're not in this situation a ton, generally speaking, but the Giants just don't. It's a slog for them. It really is. It's just challenging with that offense right now.
Yeah, and I think Green Bay, they gave up the touchdown to Barkley. I wonder if in a way that's kind of a good reminder, like this is all we have to do. If we keep Saquon Barkley in front of us, DeVito's not going to beat us. He's not going to go over the top here. And again, they've had 2 turnovers, and it's not a team where, sometimes I see players, they throw a couple interceptions or they have some turnovers. They come out in the second half and just go for broke, figuring I guess they can't turn it over again or something like that. But I don't get that feel from the Packers. And I guess I'd rather they have Aaron Jones, but Dylan's been solid. That team's pretty good up and down. So, yeah, again, I was expecting 3, so 2.5 looks pretty solid. But like you said, a lot of times we're looking at these Packers second half angles. They're so good because the Packers are chasing. So maybe it's a little different with a lead, but it does feel like a game where maybe they're not chasing, but you're certainly not happy being up only 3 at halftime against the Giants.
Well, I think part of it too is that like you look at the first half for the Giants and Tommy DeVito had 10 passing attempts. They ended up running the ball 16 times. Now, those weren't all designed runs because a lot of that was DeVito as well. But ultimately, now you're going to have DeVito throw to get you back into the game. And at some point or another, that just doesn't end well. He takes a million sacks. Like, he just holds the ball for so long sometimes. And it's just not a great game state for them altogether. Like, if the Giants have the lead at the half, it's a different story, because Green Bay's run defense can be suspect at times. Giants can sit on the ball a little bit more, but ultimately, I just think I think this number should have been a 3. I'm with you as well. So we'll see. Market hasn't moved on the game. It hasn't budged and been in the same boat, but I think this is a valuable price.
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't see any releases from anybody else. Again, Barry is always really important. He moves the market a little bit. He's so very sharp, but I didn't see anything from him yet there. And again, looking back at the other game, the Titans-Dolphins, that seems to have just settled. It looks like it's 7-21, so we're not going to get 7.5. It's not going to tick up there. But yeah, Packers 2.5. And I guess you're right. I'm a little surprised. You would think that maybe would move out towards 3, but I also don't know how efficient some of these second half lines. I don't know how much money people are getting down and how much they're moving anyway.
You know what? It is pretty. I didn't really know until I started doing second half seriously how much was getting bet into these markets. It's pretty large. It is pretty large. Aaron in the chat actually brought up something really interesting for those who have player props, live player props. Henry over 44.5 rush yards as a look right now, and Derrick Henry's at 18. So that would require 27 in the second half. But I do think the Titans are going to be extremely run heavy. They haven't been efficient. Like Henry's 9 carries for 18 yards. But I mean, I'm speaking from experience in terms of having bet Titans second half unders for a long time when Henry was in his prime, Tannehill at quarterback, and they will run the ball a ton. That's just like the second half offense for them. So I don't mind that look personally. I think that's not bad.
No, I'm just taking a quick look. I guess my only concern there is with Derrick Henry in general. Tajay Spears has been getting a lot more work the last couple weeks, and it's sort of balanced out. Henry is back to being the guy, but that would maybe be my only concern. Yeah, so Derrick Henry's got 9 carries for 18. Tajay is 4 for 13. Neither one of them really effective, but that's never stopped the Titans from running the ball anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the other side of the coin would be is 9 carries, only 18 yards. He only needs another 27 to get to that number, I think it was. So,
yep.
I think that's a decent look. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now, and it's been moving. So I'm seeing some 46.5, some 47.5, which makes it a little bit more challenging. All these little yards add up, but I think that's a fine look. Whoever recommended that, Aaron in the chat, I think that's pretty decent overall as it's moving in real time here. Before we get into the second half, go ahead, Noops. No, go.
I was gonna say, and I guess back to your comment about the second half and the amount of money. I guess what I sort of forgot there is, and maybe from a larger perspective, it seems like a lot of the big money and the sharp bettors are just going to live. I mean, changing sports a little bit, tennis. It's been a really weird year in tennis the last year and a half, and talking to a couple people now, it seems like CLV hasn't been as effective, and I think a big part of that is a lot of people are kind of making some head fakes before the match, waiting for live to open up. And then you can get more limits down. It doesn't affect your account as much because there's not some CLV. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's kind of that same dynamic here where let me take some angles in pregame. And again, the NFL is pretty solid. I can't imagine a lot of people get limited betting NFL, but it seems to always be more efficient and better if you can get in live.
Yeah, like I'm logged into my Pinnacle account right now, and this is Canadian dollars, but I'll do the quick conversion in my head right now. But if I wanted to bet Packers -2.5 for the max right now, I could bet 41,000 Canadian, so 30,000 US for one click.
That's great.
Yeah, that's one click. They'll move the line, and then I could actually bet that same amount again. So whenever you have a market that's as liquid as that, it's just going to attract sharp money regardless. So, and honestly, there's probably less people focused on that anyways, where it might be an opportunity. Some people see an opportunity relative to the pregame lines as well.
Yeah, I wonder too if because there's 2 games going on, maybe it's a little softer. I know that talking to a lot of bigger NFL bettors, they love those afternoons where again there's 7, 8, 9 games because you get to halftime and it's hard for everyone to pay attention to what's going on. There's just too much.
I don't know the context here, but I'm going to ask you because Brinks asked me to ask you. Ask Noops if he's from real Philly.
So my friend Mamba Brinks, I love him very dearly. He is my crazy uncle Mamba. If you ever get a chance to talk to him or meet with him, he is great. He is one of the sharpest college handicappers of all time. But he was in an NBA chat with me, and because I am a little, frankly, annoyed by college sports talk, I created a safe space for all the college sports people away from the NBA chat. But one of the conversations we like to have, and as someone that's grown up in Philadelphia that went to LaSalle, went to an actual college in Philadelphia, I'm always a little annoyed when people think Villanova's in Philadelphia. Villanova's like a 45-minute drive from Philadelphia. It is well outside the city limits. It is not a Philadelphia school. So Mom and I get back into this, and yes, I am a real Philadelphian from Philadelphia, but Villanova would be real Philly.
So I've had the pleasure of meeting Mamba before, or Brinks, at the I believe it's called Times Square, but I call it the Piano Bar at New York in Las Vegas, which is an absolutely I don't know, it's one of my favorite places on earth. I can't really explain why. Mostly because you just see like a lot of adults doing things that you generally don't see adults doing. It's a lot of debauchery and stuff like that. But I was there with Brinks a few years ago. Had a great time. Pretty stand-up guy, I would say. But he loves his underdog. I mean, he would have cashed tonight. He loves these big underdog angles on first halves. So Titans first half, Brinks, is probably a good one for you tonight.
I wonder if he had that parlay with the under, because he loves to do that as well. Underdog and under for any book that'll let him do it.
Yes, he's got his. He's certainly got some certain things that he likes to do quite regularly. Second halves are kicking off here. What's your following like in real time? You're gonna have one game on. I didn't even realize the Dolphins. I still have the Giants game on, and I've been missing the Dolphins second half here so far.
Yeah, for right now, I've got Bookmaker open in front of me, so I can just kind of follow that way. And then I've got my phone down in front of me at this point. I'm trying to sort of pick which game to have on here. Which one are you going to watch? I'll put the other one on.
I've been going back and forth. I'll be honest with you. I just realized the Dolphins already worked it down to the Tennessee 30, and I didn't really see how it happened. Now. 2 passes to Cedric Wilson. I bet Cedric Wilson first touchdown score tonight. It's going to really pain me. Did you as well? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was pretty annoyed to see Tua drop that ball, because the reason he dropped the ball is because he was looking at Cedric Wilson. Oh, that was the play. I thought it was a run, and then he went to grab it. Oh no, they're going to do the little fake thing, and he's going to there, and then the ball was in a Titans player's hands.
I didn't play any time, and with my luck, he will score a touchdown today. He will.
We have that power as bettors. We really do.
Yeah. Jay Dilly says dueling pianos at Harrah's is good too. It's not as good, Jay. I don't want to put you down. Everyone, to each their own. But the one at New York on like a weekend, Friday, Saturday night, it's banging. It's banging.
No, I've been there too, and you're right. I'm not, frankly, a big piano bar guy. It's the dueling piano thing can get a little bit loud for me, but the one at New York, it is special. Like you said, it's something you see in Vegas, certain places, but not everywhere. But that you walk in, there's like an uninhibited nature there. It's wild.
Yeah, it's like the pianos are just like right at the entrance. It's nuts. 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Giants out of the half. Wouldn't mind seeing a stop here.
This is going to be big. If the Packers are going to cover the second half, I think they need to get 6, maybe 10 points here in the third quarter and start to salt it away a little.
Yep. And we got Saquon lost a couple yards on this play. The Packers basically all out run defense there, and that worked. One last, we'll move on from the dueling pianos in a second here. But Aaron, if you do go there in May, it will get actually very busy. So the pro move is to go around like 7, 8 o'clock, see the bouncer that's working that night, give him like $20 beforehand, tell him you'll be back later. They'll reserve a nice spot for you if that's the case. But if you show up at like 11 o'clock and think you're getting in, it ain't happening. The lineup is going to be a mile long. So you really got to be careful there. Tyreek doesn't look like he's coming back into the game at all in any capacity now. He's like wearing running shoes on the sideline. So that looks like it might officially be done.
Yeah, it was odd when he went off, because he was, he landed, and I was sitting with a lot of people in there watching. We're all screaming different body parts. Was it a hand? Was it an arm? Was it a shoulder? And I kept looking, going, no, it was an ankle. Watch the big guy that landed on his ankle, and he got up and ran off. And I grew up playing a lot of basketball, and anybody that's played basketball has turned their ankle and knows for those first few minutes while the adrenaline is pumping, before the swelling starts to kick in, you can move around, but as soon as you get still, that thing blows up like a balloon. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he did sprain that to see him again. There's probably not enough ice to get that thing down.
We got a Cedric Wilson end zone shot that's going to get a PI on Sean Murphy bunting there as well. And looks like, of course, we got a muffed punt for the Packers. Like, I'm sure over time in my life it's been 50-50, but I swear recently the muffed punts have not been working in my favor. Like, it's getting kind of ridiculous now, Noops.
It's something that I've always wondered if I should keep track of it or not, because, the brain is always more negative, right? You always remember the negative. You generally don't remember the positive. But what if I keep track of it and I'm right and it's actually more negative? And now I've reconfirmed all this stuff. I think there's actually more trouble if I track it than I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to. I actually don't want to know. I really those types of stuff, those types of metrics. Jason, you must have some.
I just want to jump in here and say I don't know how many times a player muffs a punt, recovers it on the ground, then decides to get up and try and run with it to only muff it to fumble once again and end up losing the ball. I apologize for the pain, guys. Just had to fill you in on the context. I know you're watching the Dolphins game here. It's just bad stuff. And I think DeVito might just run in. Yeah, DeVito just ran in for a touchdown as well. So
really,
yes.
Wow,
like
they
a
were
30-yard
they were at like the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man. Well,
yeah, that was DeVito. So
Miami got down here to like the 2-yard line on a pass to HN. But
just watching that
DeVito,
now.
man. Yeah,
that was another guy at first
back and
touchdown.
forth.
Didn't play him anytime.
Well, he's down. He's down at the 1. He's down at the 1.
Let's keep this to 3.
Yeah, and they missed the tackle on Barkley. They had him. Damn, they had him dead to rights. Very unfortunate there.
Well, hopefully somebody played Barkley 2+ touchdowns, because one of the benefits of the Giants being bad is you've had some nice numbers on Barkley to score.
Yeah. I've been getting in on, this is not to pat myself on the back, but it kind of is. I will say that. I've been playing the 2+ touchdowns a little bit more recently. But especially when there's like multiple injuries on a team and these prices haven't been adjusted. And the Hunter Henry price was insane, like on the one that cashed on Thursday, but it was like 66 to 1 range. And I mean, find me the weapons that New England had for that game and who was going to get targets. And it was very clearly going to be him. But those are the ones that I've noticed, and I've lost some this year as well, like many of them this year, but multiple skill position players being out. A lot of these 2+ touchdown prices are just like not adjusted on a weekly basis. And it's just like something that's kind of fallen under the radar.
No, absolutely. And I think, so maybe to get into the touchdown market a little bit, I think one of the reasons I like the first touchdown and those 2+ touchdowns, and curious to see if you've noticed this looking at the anytime touchdowns, it seems like the anytime touchdowns are almost too polluted by the projection of how many touchdowns will be in a game. So the anytime touchdown prices, I struggle to find value there. Whereas you look at those first touchdowns, you look at those 2+ touchdown lines. I mean, the first touchdown, barring that Vikings game, I mean, there's one game every 2 years there's not a touchdown. So you're kind of one and done there. And then when you get to the 2+ touchdowns, like you said, there are certain players that just have this high concentration of usage. Again, Barkley's good. Like you said, Hunter Henry was really sneaky. I had that as well. I mean, the easy one is Tyreek. I mean, if you're playing Tyreek Hill, don't play him to score. That number stinks. Play him to score 2 touchdowns. Play him to score in the first half, something like that.
But even Noops, like, honestly, there is, I don't like to call people out. For all the nails that are in the chat regularly, honestly, I do appreciate the comments. I do appreciate that everyone's vocal. But before I even got on the stream today, someone was touting a parlay of Derrick Henry 2+ touchdowns and Tyreek Hill 2+ touchdowns. And I went to look at the individual prices on these. And the Tyreek Hill 2+ touchdowns today, the best price I could find was 3 to 1 plus 300, which I think is insane. Like, we've gotten to the point where that number is like that. There cannot be value at someone to score 2 touchdowns in a game at 3 to 1.
No, I totally agree. And it's amazing. I have to go back and look. I mean, earlier in the year, it's never a big high number. You look at 2+ touchdowns. A lot of guys, you can get them 10, 20 to 1. I mean, I don't think Tyreek was ever higher than maybe 7 or 8 to 1, but this 3 to 1 stuff is just nuts. And again, his first half anytime touchdown, that was something I played a lot earlier in the year, but now that's coming in at close to even minus, you're laying juice to and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of, I call it the Christian McCaffrey zone where, if you look back, you're profitable just betting Christian McCaffrey to score the first touchdown every week, even though it's 3 to 1, but I'm not going to do it. I can't come up with a mathematical reason that it is other than it's happening. So it's one of those things it's hard to argue against. Like, if you tell me that it is, I'm not going to argue against you, but I would love to hear a mathematical argument for it.
Yeah, I don't think there is one, honestly. I truly don't. I think it's just one of those where the results have been there, but sometimes bad bets get home, generally speaking. Very surprised here that the Dolphins kicked from the 2-yard line. They targeted Cedric Wilson again in the end zone on a fade, which I generally think is probably not a good idea. God, I hate
Unless you're
that
throwing
play.
Devontae Adams, it's the worst play in football.
Jeez, it's so bad, man. Like, you know what? Occasionally, I can get taking a shot on first down if you think that you really have a good matchup and you want to do it. But the teams that run fades on third and fourth down, like, what are we doing here? I
Not
don't.
close to the end zone. That's what gets me. Like if you're 10 to 15 yards and you have a little space to let them run into it, but like you said, it's like third and goal at the 2. You have no time. There's no space. There's just not enough room. Like, what are you going to do? Put it in the postage stamp in the back corner of the end zone and pray to God that he can get his foot down? Like, the degree of difficulty is too high.
Yeah. What? Like, okay. How do you haven't watched a snap? But as a Vikings fan, I refuse to believe Packers have another franchise QB. The range on Jordan Love this season is absurd. Like he's played at an elite level and he's played at a replacement level. And for long periods of time, it's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think the more I think about Jordan Love, I wonder if we've sort of forgotten that he's kind of a rookie. He's been in the league, he's sort of played, but this is his first year going to every game. And the more I think about it, when I back up, it's kind of how a lot of rookie seasons go. I mean, unless you're CJ Stroud and you're just the nuts, unless you get a concussion, I mean, that's kind of how this goes. You see glimpses of greatness, you see glimpses of absolute stupidity. And I don't know if Jordan Love is good, but I think he has a chance to not be bad. And not being bad makes you like a top 12 quarterback, a top 15 quarterback? I mean, it's so hard.
It's insane, man. I was doing a Sunday night show. I think it was this past Sunday night. Might have been last Sunday. I'm horrible with dates, but we pulled up the unpredictable NFL market power rankings, right? Of like based off of the closing point spreads in games. Here's where each team is ranked. And the Chargers were 10th. And I was like, no, this can't be right. But then you start looking at like all the teams behind the Chargers and you're like, okay, like I don't think they're 10th, but I can see this making like some sense. Now, since then, I'm sure that they've dropped. So having lost to the Broncos or whatever, where are they now? 16th. But yeah, like if you look at last week, they were 9th in the power rankings. And it's just like, man, there are so many not good teams in the NFL right now. It's insane.
I know it's something I talk with a lot of my friends about a lot, and I think it's finally started to make it into the general public. But I wonder if we're finally at the beginning of the point where, in the United States, there's been more focus on not having kids play football. Everyone is scared of CTE. There's less football being played. If it is flag football. So you're not learning how to block. You're not learning those defensive line moves. And I don't think we're ever going to run out of football players. Unless the state of Texas goes underwater, we'll be just fine. There'll be plenty of guys to play football. But I wonder if we're starting to see, maybe as a bigger question, do you remember all the backups being this bad? I mean, I remember there being, bad backups, but it used to be like your second string was okay, your third string was awful. And it seems to be a lot of these teams, they get to that second string and it's really scary. And then God forbid you get to that third line, you just have nobody out there. So I wonder if we're starting to see the beginning of a lack of supply of good football players. And then, the effect of that being as teams get injured, they just get to be so much worse. All of a sudden, 1-2 guys, it's over. I mean, look at that Eagles defense. It's mostly the same guys, but you lose a couple guys in that secondary and it gets real bad fast.
Alex, the Cleveland Browns brought in a quarterback that was sitting on his couch for the entire year, and he is already at least a league average quarterback. Like it's absurd what's happening right now. We just caught a break. It looks like the Giants muffed a punt just now. So we get the muff back. 2 muffs tonight.
Muff Justice. And I want to find this acronym because I sort of was joking about this, but I think I'm going to spend a time trying to come up with a metric to help, try to figure out who the best backups are. And the metric was Flacco. And I want to make sure that I find exactly what the acronym was. Oh, where is it? I wrote it down. I have to find it. Oh, I think it was something like fill-in leader's ability to compete competently on short notice. Flacco. And I want to see if I can put together a metric on that because this isn't the first time we've seen him do it. He did it for the Jets. Again, hasn't played, hasn't warmed up. I wonder if he knows what everybody's name on the freaking team is. Like, does he know these guys? Could he pull his wide receivers out of a lineup? But comes in and I don't know what it is. I think it speaks to how mental it really is. You watch some of these guys, and Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time, but I don't know. Would you have him on your top 5 to 10 most gifted athletic quarterbacks of all time? Probably not. But he's calm, he's cool, he's collected, and I'm afraid to say this because everyone just thinks Brock Purdy is good because the 49ers are good, but you watch him, the way he processes the game, the way he's able to make all those decisions quickly. I wonder again if we put a little too much emphasis on these big, tall guys that can throw the ball when it really should be who's the guy that's making quick decisions, who's actually making reads, who's getting the ball out quickly and accurately, stuff like that, because it seems to be time and time again, if you've got a good head on your shoulders, you can come in and do some damage.
I'm totally with you. I mean, I just watched Jordan. Jordan Love just made a good pass. Like, did Jaden Reed not see this ball? I don't think he saw it. He was like,
I don't know how
open.
anyone sees a ball with a helmet on, by the way. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was in a good spot and looked like.
Here we go. Oh, you're right. There's no way he saw that ball. I just watched that. ESPN finally popped up the side screen to see it, and I think you're right. He got kind of caught turning around. It looks like the ball. I wonder if the ball was like. I wonder if that defender was in between him and the ball. Here's a better angle of it for me. Yeah, he just lost it. He couldn't see that at all.
It was like, I don't know if he didn't expect it or he just looked too late or whatever, but that's the case. Green Bay field goal is good. So 14-13 in that game. That was a bit of a weird play. Derrick Henry just ran for 3 yards. He's up to 24. So I'll be rooting for 45 for the people that got there earlier, all the way up to 47-48. Big third down incoming here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Levis can do. And you were saying earlier, and one of the things I like about him, he's not afraid to throw the ball deep. It was one of the reasons I was so mad about that interception. I don't know why he was trying to throw the ball 2 yards like that. Like, just back up and toss it. I mean, it's basically a punt.
He just he threw into double coverage deep, about 50 yards downfield to Treylon Burks, and it was incomplete, but had much better chance of being intercepted than caught. But this is like his standard go-to when he has nothing. He just kind of chucks it downfield, which it's 3rd and 7. If that gets picked off, it's inside the 10 anyways. It's basically just acts like a punt. I don't hate it, but it's this is the Levis experience. I still think of like all the quarterbacks that don't look good. He still has some potential. Like Bryce Young, a lot of people are making the excuses of O-line, lack of receivers, coaching staff. And I get that. That's certainly hurting him, but he just doesn't have it for me. Like, he misses open receivers. He looks like deer in the headlights way too often. Levis occasionally shows like some signs that he has the arm strength. He makes good. That throw that he made in the first half to DeAndre Hopkins towards the end of the first half was like a laser just through tight coverage. He has potential. I'm not like, this is a good, interesting comment because it was what I was thinking and I didn't say it out loud, but he does have some Josh Allen-ish things to him. Highly aggressive, good arm strength. I can see it, but he just got to figure it out a little bit more. He's a little bit of all over the place.
Yeah. I think the Josh Allen comparison is fair. It's kind of I like to think of players as spectrums, and they're definitely both on the same spectrum. But again, it comes back to kind of what we were talking about, like, as big as you are and as good as you can throw the ball, I'd prefer you be aggressive, but you got to learn how to be accurate at some point. You got to learn how to check down. And, it's tough. I don't have the all 22 in front of me here, but it does seem like Levis is still one of those guys where I look at some of this stuff and he's got somebody down the field and he's got somebody 10 yards kind of in the middle, just sitting there staring at him with his hands out. And I think he goes deep a little too often, but again, I would prefer that you go deep more than not. So It's a tough needle to thread, I guess.
Yeah, and like, it's a good point. Like, rookie Josh Allen was a mess. Like,
I
was all over the Josh Allen is a bum train for a long time until he wasn't, and he figured it out. But he has good athletic ability, and he was able to figure it out. I'm seeing some messages in the chat about Tyreek Hill back in the game. I'll be interested to see that. It was 2 messages. Sometimes we do get some trolls in here. We're not immune to the trolls, but
no one is.
But I'll see It's at commercial break right now, so I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he is back. There's three comments. 3 is enough for me to make a definitive conclusion on this stream.
I'm cool with that.
Yes.
See, I'm flipping through to try to see. You're right. I don't recognize too many of those names, but you're right. 3 people, 4 people. This Andy guy, he looks like a real dude. No one would post a picture and looking goofy in those glasses and not be real.
We do have a pretty good crew. We're missing the research flat earth guy. He hasn't been around in a long time. I suspect he just changed his name because he was embarrassed about the research flat earth stuff. But he caused a stir. Let's just put it that way. He caused a stir.
I was trying to remember, there was a commercial on local cable where they were going through and talking to some of the Eagles, and one of them decided to use it as a platform to ask some questions about flat Earth. And I should have gone back and found it and tried to save it, because it was one of those things where it was like, how did this end up in the commercial? Why did he take this moment to grandstand? Why did this? It was very interesting. And I generally don't agree with the flat Earth people. To be honest, I don't know enough about science to prove that it's wrong, other than that thing we all learned about Christopher Columbus seeing like a butterfly walk on an orange or something stupid like that. But it's interesting to listen to.
Yeah. I mean, I went down the flat earth rabbit hole at one point just to see, like, okay, what's the argument here? And I very, very quickly dismissed it as not being a legitimate argument. You know, it is what it is, but yeah, I'm certainly not a flat earther. There was actually a very good documentary. I don't remember what it was called. But it was following around some flat earthers, and ultimately at the end of the documentary, it was AJ Brown. It was AJ Brown.
That's it. That's
okay.
Exactly
let's play this clip. I'm interested in hearing the sound here.
He really believes.
No, I don't.
You sure about that?
Have you ever paid attention to rockets when they take off?
No.
I want you to go look up a rocket taking off,
Okay.
and see the angle that it takes off at, and wonder why it never goes straight up in the air. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
All right. So, there's a deep ball. He overthrew him. A-Chain was wide open. Wide open. Tua's not having a good game tonight.
No, he looks a little funky, and that's the problem.
Yeah. There are flat earthers all around the globe, according to them.
Well done. Bravo.
Yeah, that was a great comment. Yeah, whatever. Listen, you believe whatever you want to believe.
That's your right as an American.
Enough. I've done my own research. I've done enough to say with a high degree of certainty. Can never say anything with 100% certainty because we could live in a simulation. But I do not believe that flat Earth is a thing.
I always wonder how it affects their day-to-day. Like, does that change how you go about the world? Do you drive differently? Like, that's what I always wondered. If it's true, how does this affect your life? What are you doing differently on a day-to-day basis? But maybe someday I'll have to get into it with somebody.
It's actually, this was a long time ago, so I don't want to give specifics about this, but it's actually way more complicated than most people think. So most people think like, oh, what's just going to happen? Like you're going to walk one day and you're going to walk into a wall because that's where things end, or you're just going to walk off like an imagine. It's more complex than that. And there's like some logic to it, but ultimately it's a little out there, Alex. It's a little out there.
I just have too much other stuff to do. And I guess the only thing that I got close to on that was I did spend about a week, and I really wanted to get into the QAnon stuff to see, like, number one, what was really going on there, and number two, how crazy it was. And when I came out of the other side of the rabbit hole, there was some stuff that made me think. But in general, it has an unstable foundation, I think is the nicest way I could put it.
It's a good way to put it. This is a testament to Rogers NFL, the fact that we're talking about flat earth theory while two games are going on at once.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's get Derrick Henry some yards there.
Yeah. I bet Tommy DeVito over 172.5 passing yards. That's really one of the worst bets I think I could have ever made in my life. And
has it been fun to sweat at all? Like, why did you choose to do that to yourself?
You know what? I just thought it was a really good bet. I honestly thought that Green Bay was going to be winning for the majority of the game. And I mean, the market price of like 5.5, 6 implied that. Here we go. DeVito, first down. Like now I'm rooting for opposite bets. I don't even know what to do anymore, Noops. This is the problem with betting, you know. You bet pregame, you bet some props, you bet in-game. Now I don't even know what I'm rooting for anymore. Underdog just tweeted Tyreek Hill's going back to the tent. Like it's just all a mess, really, right now.
Well, that's how we know it's football.
Yeah. This is the way Roger wants it. And
it is amazing to me, and it's football is just this unstoppable monolith, and it's honestly something I hold against the NBA. I wish the NBA would try to take back Thursday night. Like I understand some Thursdays there's actually some good games on, but last Thursday would have been a perfect night to put on, like, I don't know, a Lakers-Knicks game or like Celtics-Sixers or something like that, and see if you can finally draw some eyeballs away, because I think one of my most annoying things that exists in the Twitterverse are all the people that constantly tweet out, well, in March, you'll be begging for football. And it's like, no, we won't. March is awesome. And even if it was late August, we won't be begging for it. Now, if it's the only thing that's on a Thursday, sure, we're going to sit and watch it. But this whole, like, we love football so much, we want crappy football all the time. It's beyond me.
I'm with you on that one. In March, I'm just going to be begging for the weather to turn so I can play golf as soon as possible. That's basically my March, is just like, checking weather reports. When is the frost going to be done? That's how I'm living in March. Tommy DeVito has 9 carries for 72 yards, but this dude is like allergic to sliding. He just has it in his head that he needs to absorb the largest hit on every single play. Don't really know what's going on there, but if someone wanted to teach Tommy to slide, that might be a good idea.
It could just be, as someone that's grown up in the Philadelphia area, I've known a lot of North Jersey Italians, and they're very tough. And maybe that could be, he's just too tough to want to slide. I'm going to go with that.
It's a good hypothesis. It's a good hypothesis. Doesn't want to go back to Staten Island and have his friends mock him for sliding. Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. It's one of those things that's important, and you can tell who has good friends and who doesn't. One of my favorite measures of whether or not you have good friends is, do you have a bad haircut or a bad mustache? Anybody, as soon as they have a bad mustache for like a week, and again, it happens in tennis every once in a while, I'll see somebody have like some bad facial hair or something. It's like, they don't have friends, because if you had friends, that would be gone in about a week.
You were talking that you went bowling earlier. I have to ask, because whenever somebody talks bowling, there's a flea flicker. Flea flicker. And I mean, I don't know how this wasn't intercepted, but it was caught. I'll take the passing yards. Dude, whatever the Packers defense is doing here, they had 2 players. I don't know how this worked. I don't know how it worked. Still at a loss for how it worked. I guess that's what happens when you take Jair Alexander out of the secondary and you trade Rasul Douglas at the trade deadline.
Little did they know.
Holy jeez. Passing yards is back live again. He's at 91.
And we got the Titans driving.
Wow. Just the way Roger wants it. Who played the underdog money line?
The dog money lines.
Yeah, exactly. And DeVito takes another hit trying to rush.
There we go.
Okay. What's I gotta ask? It's just I like to bowl. I enjoy bowling. At one point in my life, I was obsessed with bowling, you might say. So I need to know, if you're playing in a league, I need to know what your average is.
I'm 175 on Mondays. I'm 173 on Thursdays. Started doing it seriously about 2.5 years ago. As a big golfer who also lives in a cold area, we had to find something to do. And we kind of moved inside, and the movement is very similar. You start, and it's a little tougher, you're throwing a 15-pound ball and stuff like that. But it's been a lot of fun. It's amazing how much I've learned about physics and oil and bowling alleys and stuff. But yeah, it's been really great. My Monday league is actually like a lot of older couples and, frankly, a couple of little old ladies who throw the ball about 8 miles an hour and bowl 200s, which is just amazing to watch. And then Thursday is just your classic guys league, just a ton of betting. Somebody comes in and runs brackets. They run pools. You're drawing cards for stuff. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I've really enjoyed it. It's a great way to do something athletic. It's a great way to do something competitive. And again, it's not the biggest workout in the world. It's hard to call it a sport when I drink as much as I do while I do it. But again, I threw a 15-pound ball about 70 times tonight, about 14, 15, 16 miles an hour. So did get a little bit of a workout in.
I think we got a Giants touchdown. I'm going to pick up on a lot of what you said right there. Isaiah Hodgins. Ah, man. His snap counts were down so much in recent weeks. I couldn't pull the trigger.
There's
almost
nothing worse than trying to pick a Giants wide receiver. There's like 10 of them. None of them are very good, but they're all good enough to score. It's exhausting. Oh, what a good catch.
I know. It was a good play. I'll take the
pass.
passing.
Make that throw. That was basically the San Antonio home Super Bowl catch. What the hell?
Oh, yeah. Great play. DeVito, this is not the scoring. I need the Green Bay to go the other way and score, though, at this point.
Hopefully no one heard our Packers minus 2.5 second F bet.
Yeah, it happens. I put the bet in. What are you going to do? Such is life.
Me too.
Oh, wow. Is that a catch for the Titans or an incompletion?
Please be.
Wow. I think they're going to call it a catch and say that Spears fumbled it out of bounds.
Oh, I hope that's what it is. Let's see. Here's the replay.
This would be, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It's the replay they showed from the back. I guess you're going to have to see it from the front because the ball hits his hands. He takes about 2 steps, and then it goes out of the sideline. The question is, and again, this is my least favorite part of football over the last 5 years is, well, is he controlling it and tucking it? Is he fumbling it? Oh, God.
I know. Did he make a football move? Yeah,
I'm so sick of the phrase football move. If I could, it's one of the things, if I could just remove it from all of the world, football move, it just makes me want to hurl.
I mean,
it says first and goal. The call on the field was fumble, but they're all walking around like we're going to have a look at this. Yeah, it's okay. Miami challenge, so we're going to have to see here.
I mean, I personally think this is going to get reversed to an incomplete pass, but I don't know.
I just showed it from the side. He had the ball tucked for 2 steps. I mean, that's as close as you can get.
I think like the fact that we're all having to debate this, and there's no actual certainty in this is a testament to how dumb this league is, generally speaking, with the rules. But I will say that they are usually consistent in the way that they call these, even though nobody knows what the rules are. And I feel like this will get overturned to an incomplete pass.
I like that they generally try to be in the favor of a positive outcome. So I like that there seems to be more, let's just call it a touchdown on the field and go back. Let's just call it, a fumble out of bounds, and then we can go back and look at it, as opposed to like stopping stuff, and then it's a little uglier to unwind.
You know what? I'm just watching it again right now. And it's gotta be a catch. Like, this is 3 feet down.
Yeah, it's one. He catches it. He has it tucked in the side, and it's 1, 2, 3. Head on the ball pops out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But again,
I'm sure they'll bring on some ref onto the broadcast to make some sort of, to tell us that they don't know either, and it's too close to call, and they just gotta to keep the ruling on the field.
Well, they'll do my favorite, and they'll bring the expert on after the call's been made, so he can explain to us why it was the right call and not have to give an opinion at all.
Like 1, 2, 3, almost 4 steps. It's got to be a catch. It's got.
I like what Dylan said. It has to be a catch. Therefore, it wasn't. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. All right. They ruling on the field stands. First and goal from the 6.
Let's go.
What am I rooting for here? I got to go through my accounts. This is Chris Moore. Anytime. Chris Moore ain't catching an anytime touchdown, is he?
And you got some Okonkwo, maybe? It feels like we're at a tight end distance here. This is a tight end friendly distance.
Yep. I need to find out what number Chris Moore wears. That's the only hope that I have.
It's one of my favorite parts of betting on 11. Someone who's not knowing.
Yeah, I just saw. So he was on the field and he was blocking on that play. So he's there. Derrick Henry's line, man, 15 for 32.
He just picked up 2 more, and he's starting to look slow. And it's amazing he's been as good as he is. And it's one of those things where I wonder if, 15, 20 years down the line, if he's going to be somebody anybody remembers besides us. And I wonder if maybe he's the last great high usage running back too, but it's staggering that I'm trying to remember what the magic number was. I'm sure you remember like 10 years ago, it's like if a running back has X number of touches, his knees are just going to explode in the third game next year or whatever. And everybody stopped saying that because Derrick Henry would have that number, then it'll go higher the next year and then higher the next year and higher the next year and just keep getting better.
I love this comment, and I would totally like to see it happen. Giants a quarter away from ruining their chance at a top 5 pick.
How come the NFL doesn't understand tanking? Do they not watch the NBA? Are they not aware of it? Is there some sort of secret rule about tanking that everyone gets fired?
Are they not tanking, though, by starting DeVito over Tyrod? Like, they're trying to tank, right?
I guess so. I guess the question is how hurt was Tyrod? And that's a very fair point, but like,
who is
I don't
that?
know. Maybe take DeVito out at this point? There's got to be somebody else back there.
I can't tell who that was. I think it's Westbrook Akine. Did he catch that? It looked like he caught that.
So they called it a touchtown. The only thing I'm going to need to see is when he turned over and kind of like face down. It's hard to see from the angle if the ball bounced or not. But
this is an incomplete pass. This is
the
ball rolled a couple times on.
Here we go. The ball rolled in his hands. This is not looking good, and no, absolutely not.
I love Andy. If that's a catch, then no one knows the rules. Correct.
Well said, Andy.
Yes, I mean it's the ball rolled a couple times there. That cannot be a TD.
The ball rolling on the ground generally means it's not a catch.
Yeah. And of course, we got the end of the third quarter in the other game, just perfectly timed up. You cannot ask for anything better from Roger Goodell.
Well done. Not a chance anyone's going to watch both games.
No. Back in the day when I was part of a bowling team, my entire team liked to basically bet against one another. So whenever people were striking on our team, we were like rooting against them, and other teams had no idea what was going on. Like they were just like, oh, no, he just made his spare. I'm like, no, that's very bad for me. Like I do not want him to make his spare. And no one could understand this. That just like 4 guys that grew up together, good friends, were betting against one another. But then it just started to get out of hand, and we had to call it quits. It was not a good look.
Nah, me and my one buddy do that. The way the team is set up, I'm like 175. He's like 180, maybe a little bit less than that point. The other 2 guys in their team are kind of in the 140s. So my buddy and I kind of have a standing $50 a game straight up bet every game. So when you get towards the end, there's definitely, or some of my teammates are looking at us like, why are you upset? He just put 2 strikes in a row. It's like, because he's going to beat me now. Damn it. I'll lose $200 tonight.
God, I love bowling though, man. You have your own custom ball. You get it made for your finger size and everything.
Yeah, and what I would actually say is I think the bigger difference is the shoes. You go and use those alley shoes. They never fit. Get a pair of shoes that fit your feet before you get a ball, because that makes a huge difference. And then, I don't know about your style. I throw 2 fingers, 2-handed, kind of tuck it back. For some reason, if I put my thumb into a ball, everything just goes to hell. So, and apparently the rules are, Rob, I don't know if you knew this, but if you have a hole in your ball, there has to be a finger in it when you throw it. So you have to get your own special ball if you're a 2-finger bowler.
So then I've been bowling illegally for a long time. So I do curve the ball. However, I'm like you. I can bowl with my thumb in there, but there are times where I don't get it out, and then I look like a complete and utter jackass, where I'm like going to be the guy that's going to go down the lane with the ball. So I get the 2 fingers in the ball, and my thumb is just on the outside, and it's kind of awkward, but it works for me. Yeah. That's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, you got to learn how to do that. It makes the 10 pin a lot harder. You kind of have to learn how to dead hand the ball a little bit and stuff, but it seems to be a lot easier. I know all the guys that throw one-handed are jealous of how much spin we can get some nights when they can't, but it does seem like the one-handers are more consistent, but I also don't know if it's because they've been bowling for 20 years and I've only been bowling for 2, or it's my technique.
Yeah, it's tough. At the end of the day, you just play enough, you learn to make your spares, and then you're kind of good from there, and you won't bowl bad scores, and that's it. But it's tough. You're right. The 10 pin is challenging ultimately when you're bowling with that type of style. I actually throw a straight ball for the 10 pin, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've got a way I almost turn completely sideways and kind of like And as long as I keep my hand up high at the end and I can finally finish that. I finally got to the point where I might get a second ball. I always kind of make fun of the people. There's one guy I bowl with. He literally owns 17 bowling balls. And he brings 8 of them into the lane with him and the other 9 are in his trunk in case he needs them. But I have been using one of his balls for a 10-pin ball. And I may finally have to break down and get a second ball, which means I can't make fun of all the multiple ball people anymore.
Tyreek Hill with a 23-yard catch there to end the
He's
third
back.
quarter. He's back. He's back. Noops, appreciate you joining me. It's been good chatting. We should do this more often. All the best, man. Happy holidays to you. Let people know where they can find your stuff nowadays as well.
Hey, it was a pleasure, Rob. I'm happy to come back anytime. Best place as always. You can find me on Twitter at _Noops. A lot of NBA content recently. I do put out first touchdown score bets for all the primetime games. So Thursday, Sunday night, Monday night from time to time. We had a little success running kind of a donation program where, as long as you donate, you send it to me, I'll send you kind of some picks for a special game. Always happy to do that. It's a great way to raise a little bit of money and help you guys have some fun. But do an NBA show for BetUS Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then a ton of NBA content for FTN. Again, it's been great working with Frank Reich and those guys. And I don't know about you. One of my favorite reasons for working for a lot of companies like this is I now get to use all the FTN tools for free.
Love that. I pay for an FTN data subscription, but I stand by it. And I'd tell anyone to do. People are always messaging me, where do you get these scheme stats for NFL? What defenses teams are playing? And I get that through FTN. So if anyone ever wanted to do that, if you're serious about betting, I think it's a great resource. Appreciate you, Alex. Thanks very much. Good luck with the rest of your bets, and happy holidays as well.
Yeah, best of luck. Happy holidays to everybody. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
All right. Noops, everyone. First time here. Now, before we welcome in Iain MacMillan on the stream, we're at 195 likes right now. Ian did tell me before the show that if we get to 250, he will wear a Santa hat and he will do the stream in the nude as well. 250 likes. We're not quite there yet. Maybe this is actually going to de-incentivize likes. Maybe we'll just have him wear the hat. We'll just have him wear the hat, people. Just like the stream. Just like the stream really quickly. And before we get into it, I'm not going to be shown up by, who was it that Taylor Lewan shotgunned a Twisted Tea on Manning Cast? All right, people. Here we go. Oh, it's very sweet. Very sweet. I can't crush it on my head because my head's not strong enough. But we're done here. I'm going to have to take like 7 units of insulin for this one. Bad hangover tomorrow, too. What's up, Ian?
What a chug. Well done.
You know what? This is like chugging apple juice. It's not even really.
Yeah, it's not. Of all the drinks to chug, Twisted Tea would be near the bottom of the list for me.
Yeah, like it's not really impressive at all. It's it's 350 milliliters. 5. And I could have probably chugged 5 times the amount of this. It goes down smooth. Bad hangovers, though. Real bad. Gonna have to have a last call later on.
Yeah.
How are things?
Things are well. I'm in the holiday spirit. I like what you said. If we got 250 likes on this, I'd wear a Santa hat. I like the first half of that. The second half, I don't know if I'm as on board with, but maybe if we get to 500 likes, we can do that.
We got
wear the Santa hat.
We got an additional like 20 likes out of that. It was worth it. It was worth it. We don't ever do the stuff that we promised to do, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Wow, what a leap that was. What game are you watching right now?
I got Dolphins Titans on right now, but I might switch it over because my bet for this one looks like it's looking pretty good. So,
yeah, that was I think that was the fullback. Was that Ingold?
Yep.
Alec Ingold. My God, jeez, man, that guy has he's got quite the vertical on him. Quite the vertical. I'm just going to be ripping back and forth the whole night, pretty much at this point. I'll flip over to the other. Wow, they're both like Roger. What did you do to us tonight, man? Fucking Roger did this to us tonight. 2 games at once.
Yeah, why wouldn't they stagger them? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what they're doing, man.
At least like an hour.
They're trying something out. They're trying to see which times are going to get the better ratings. So they did like a staggered time. whatever. If they go back to this again, I don't know that I can go with it. I really don't. Jordan Love taking a sack on 3rd and 11. This ain't been a Jordan Love game. This has not been a Jordan Love game. He stunk it up. I made a very bad bet on DeVito over passing yards. I was kind of rooting for a Green Bay touchdown there so that we get back into a game state where the Giants have to throw.
Is he not close? I I haven't watched the Giants Packers game all night, so I have no idea. Oh, he has 99 yards. Yeah, that's
no. He's probably got more rushing yards than pass yards. The dude has literally
close.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty close to that, right?
71 rushing, 99 passing.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Did you see? Did you see DeVito's agent that they were?
Yeah, it's my cousin.
I'm starting to not like it. It's a little too cartoonish for me. Like, what, the fedora, really? We're gonna go that far with it? Don't you think it's a little cartoonish?
It's extremely cartoonish, dude. This guy looks like Dick Tracy, basically.
Right? What are we doing? Come on.
It was one of those tweets where I actually had to like verify it. It's right. So outlandish that this guy is dressed all in black with the hat that I actually had to verify. It was absurd. The whole DeVito thing, I don't really know how I feel about it.
Did the Packers miss their field goal? Perfect.
They missed it, yeah. They missed it. I should have just... What do you got there? That looks like some eggnog on ice. Rum and eggnog?
Bailey's. Bailey's is my holiday drink. We are now in the holidays officially,
just straight Bailey's? You're drinking straight Bailey's and ice right now.
Bailey's and ice.
Dude, how are you not going to have to shit your pants in about 7 minutes?
What, does that happen with Bailey's? I've been drinking Bailey's for Christmas for years.
Well, maybe you're acclimated to it now, but Bailey's usually you're on the throne for a little while after.
No, I'm
Bailey's. Good. Yeah, that's honestly, Ian, that's a first. I don't know anyone that drinks straight Bailey's.
Bailey's and ice? Oh, you can't beat it, man. It's delicious.
Does anyone in the chat drink straight Bailey's on ice? I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird like that. I like to put Bailey's in coffee.
Yeah, that's great too. Have you tried Bailey's on ice?
No, but now I'm thinking I got to try Bailey's on ice.
Try it once for me.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, is that a flavored Bailey's at all, or is that just like a regular Bailey's, or what do we?
No, it's just regular Bailey's.
Regular Bailey's, okay.
I've had like candy cane flavored Bailey's or something like that.
Yeah.
Peppermint.
Yeah, I had that before too. The peppermint Bailey's or whatever. Yeah.
This is the OG stuff.
You know what? What day of the week is it today? I always lose. Monday. Thursday night football.
Bailey's
I'll be drinking Bailey's on ice.
Let's go. There we go.
I might have to leave to take a shit midway through, but you know what? Wouldn't be the first time.
It's my go-to for the holidays, man. It's unbelievable.
This Dolphins red zone offense is struggling, man.
Well, the Titans red zone defense is the second best in the NFL.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I took Titans plus 14. Hard to cover a spread if you can't score touchdowns in the red zone. A 2-touchdown spread.
I was thinking the Dolphins are just going to score like a lot of 40-yard touchdowns.
Yeah, which was certainly possible heading into this game.
That was a great bet. It's not over yet.
Actually, now they're the best red zone defense after the Falcons shit the bed on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't want to root against you, but it is good for ratings if they blow this cover and we can get your like live reaction and then clip it for socials. It's not good for you, but it's good for
the way my bets have gone this weekend. It wouldn't shock me.
Okay. Well, Tua just sacked himself on 3rd down. He sacked himself. She kidnapped herself, man. Wow, Mike McDaniel really does look a lot like me.
Yeah.
He really, really does. Side profile. He keeps the facial hair the same way.
Yeah.
He's got more hair than I do, but I think he's balding at the top as well. Let's see if Jason Sanders can make a field goal. It's been rough sledding for a lot of these kickers this week. Don't know what the hell's going on. Every game where I have an over, they're missing kicks left and right.
Yeah, that's why the Falcons lost. Younghoe Koo missed 2.
Dude, Younghoe, I got the over. but he made it a sweat. And I honestly was looking at the box score of that game last night. Like, how the fuck did the Falcons lose this game?
They outgained him 2 more yards per play than the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's like 6.4 to 4.4 yards per play.
Yeah. Oh no, what's this flag, Ian? I don't want this flag to be like leverage and they fuck you over in some way or something. By the way, these are the dumbest penalties ever. Imagine giving a free first down because you jumped off another guy's back. Like, what's wrong with these guys?
Ooh, refs seem like they're kind of in a little bit of an argument there.
Yeah, it looks like it's
giving him
it's in between downs. It's unsportsmanlike on Miami. So the kick is good. They'll just have to kick off from 15 yards further back.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
Giants are punting.
I do got plus 14. So, I mean, you would think the worst case scenario, I'm going to push this bet. Worst case scenario. There's no way they score 3 times with 12 minutes left.
I'm clipping that. That's going to come back soon. That's going to.
I already marked it. I created the marker at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, we'll have that ready to go.
Yeah, do you have any other bets for tonight other than the 14 plus 14 on
Packers minus 6.5, which is almost dead.
Yeah. He does contractually have to pick every single game. You went on a heater though. I think it was last week.
I had 2 back-to-back really good weeks. I was up to over 9 units on the season, and of course, I had to come crashing back down to earth, which I did this week. But still, I mean, at worst case scenario, I think I'll be down maybe 2.5, 3 units this week, so I'll still be all right. But yeah, I did have 2 back-to-back good weeks.
That's incredibly impressive, by the way. I feel like that's not like that needs to be acknowledged at how impressive that is, because you're betting into like I don't know when you're betting these games, but like that is crazy impressive.
But is he writing them in a notebook like GRP wins to track them? I mean, that's a little bit more impressive if you're not only betting them but documenting them on a notebook as well.
That's
in a notebook.
I am tracking them on BetStamp, and not quite as impressive as
no. Technology. We don't do technology. We don't do technology.
I do place all of my bets right after Monday Night Football, so I try to get some CLV, which I have had for the most part this year. This past week, though, every injury announcement, everything went against me.
Yeah,
but it
happens, man. You bet early in the week, it happens, but it all works out at the end of the day. 0.7% CLV. Yeah, you do what you do.
Did you just look at my profile?
You got cucked on the Leafs minus 1.5 tonight, huh?
That was not good. You want to talk about a cold streak? Look at my recent NHL picks. I think I've lost like 9 straight.
Well, you know what? You track them. You're transparent.
Yeah, I'm not a pro. I do it for fun.
Exactly. It's all you can ask for. You know, there's a lot of people who aren't pros, but they don't do it for fun. And that's when there's real problems that come into play.
Right.
They think they're pros, Ian.
Right.
But they're not. They're not.
And like I said last time I was on, Rob, if you're not losing in betting, you're winning. And that's my goal. Just don't lose.
It's true. Arthur says, the Fonz says, Bailey's on ice for laxative use.
I've not had that issue.
It's good, man. You got like good digestive system.
I will say, I don't think there's a food out there that makes me go to the bathroom at all.
That's good, man.
I can't think of a single one.
No, it's, I mean, you're a little bit younger than me, but you're in good shape, man. Don't enjoy it while you can. That's all I'll say, man. Enjoy it while you can.
Someone said Ian's not a pro because LPGA doesn't have high enough limits. True. That's a fact.
You've been smoking the LPGA?
I had a great year in LPGA, Rob. LPGA does not, I mean, once again, don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm not a pro, but based on what I'm seeing, the markets for LPGA are not set correctly.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, you could probably have an edge. I mean, yeah, they don't have high limits. So like not a lot of pros are focused on it. It's very much could be a thing. Very much could be a thing.
And also maybe I just had a really good season and next year I'll just lose all the time, but.
Oh, it was a big play for Green Bay. Big play. Tucker Kraft. It's like a 50-yard pass downfield. 50-yard pass downfield. Yeah, a lot of people bet Derrick Henry over at the half on his updated rushing yard total, 44.5. But this guy is like, his shoes may as well be made out of cement at this point. Guy has not only no burst, maybe negative burst. Yeah. It's tough.
Well, what's the carry split right now between him and Tajay Spears?
Well, Derrick Henry has 16 carries for 31 yards.
Not good.
Tajay Spears has 6 carries for 23. So Spears has 3.8 yards per carry, which is double Henry, but also not very good, if we're being honest here. Not very good, if we're being honest here. Oh, man. What's this question? Does Jason have a subscription to Brazzers? Listen, man, who's paying for porn these days? How do these companies stay in business? The free stuff is good enough. Why would you need a subscription to anything these
There's
days?
a lot of freaks out there, Rob.
Well, yeah, I guess.
A lot of freaks.
I mean, I gotta ask what led to that question, Jay, in the chat. If you can just like put down the thought process of like how we got there. I just don't get that. We're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he singled you out. You came on camera. He's like, this guy have a Brazzers subscription. Like, I don't.
Is there something about the way I look that like it makes you think like someone said I look like Justin Long earlier? I don't see that, but is there something about the way I look that makes me have like a, I don't know. Anyways, I gotta go back.
That is a wild thing to accuse someone of, by the way.
Also, he announced his exit. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back behind the scenes here. Yeah, all right, that's good. That's enough of me. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. Oh, that was too good. Yeah, I don't know. These you never know what questions you're gonna get from the nails in here. You never know.
That's so mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of get. I can see that.
Huge porn guy.
What are huge porn guy vibes? I need that. I don't. Yeah,
That's tough.
it is tough.
That's tough.
He's now been painted into a corner, which he'll never be able to get out of. He's the porn guy now.
Yeah.
Jason Cooper. First, he was the guy that really fucked up that HQ trivia quiz that we did, the draft party trivia quiz, where he gave the worst answer of all time.
What was the answer? I missed that.
It was like a quiz of it was 25 players that were on the board, and you're basically trying to pick the guys that had the most sacks. And he took David Onyemata, and it turned out to be the worst pick on the list, and he'll never live that down.
I will defend myself and say, and Jacob cut this out.
Not his fault. There's no defense. There's no defense.
Not his fault. I said
pick the worst one on the list.
If I got a defensive question, I cannot name 10. Okay, I could probably name more than 10 defensive players in the NFL. Excuse me, but I suck. I'm a fantasy guy. I play fantasy sports. I've played it for a long time. So all offensive guys, I'm good, but defense, it's just I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, it turned out to be a really shit answer.
Horrible.
But now he's outdone himself, and he's no longer known as the shit answer guy. He's just the porn guy now.
If people know this picture, they'll know that's me.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I have no idea, but I'm not involved in the porn community.
I know the reference.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I want. Yeah, that's.
I don't know. If it's pop culture related, I have no fucking clue.
No, it was a picture that went viral lately of that girl met her biggest donor, and that guy had like given her $60,000, and the meme was like, "You gave her $60,000, and she won't even touch you in a picture."
Got it.
Yeah, big OnlyFans guy.
I'm big on the OnlyFans pop culture stuff. So
yeah.
I just wish I had like nice looking feet so I could start my own OnlyFans and just like
the dream.
But my feet are disgusting. They're bad.
I think that like that gets you into like a better tier because like there's like some true sickos out there who are like actively look for disgusting feet because that's not what you can normally find.
Yeah.
So it's like you might be able to get away with this.
What do you guys say?
Switching his tune. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you guys say if your girlfriends come to you and they're like, I'm starting an OnlyFans, but for feet only? You let them do it, or do you say, I don't know, I've got to draw the line somewhere?
There'd be a conversation. Well, I would do it as long as I could do an OnlyFans for my calves because I got some nice calves. I think I could make some money on OnlyFans for calves if there's any people who are into lower half of legs out there.
I think I'd have no problem with my wife doing an OnlyFans with feet.
Depends
That's
on
where I
if,
draw the line.
depends on
It's
if
just feet.
depends on if their face is in the pictures or if it's just the feet.
It's just got to be feet. They don't see their face. It's not like any foot jobs with dildos or anything like that. It's just pictures of it's just like their feet. You know, they're doing stuff with their feet and twirling them.
Yeah, Rex Ryan is in. Rex Ryan is already subscribed.
Oh my goodness. There's
I
definitely
think there's
a
some
price
good money
point.
to be made there. I think there's
There
some
definitely
good
is.
money to be made there.
There's a website. I don't want to give it free advertising, but there's a website out there that's literally just dedicated to feet. OnlyFans version of just feet. Only feet.
I'm not surprised that you know that, Jason. You are the porn guy after all.
I am. I don't know what I like better. Like, do I like being the porn guy or do I like being the David Onyemata answer guy? Listen, word is I'm getting a Christmas gift that is Onyemata related, but
Oh, you are.
For my girlfriend thought it was funny.
Oh, your girlfriend. Oh man. Well,
now I'm gonna get a Brazzers year account instead.
Yeah, we'll get you some. We got some Pinnacle patches here. You know, the iron-on patches or whatever. I'll reach out to Brazzers and we'll get you some Brazzers patches as well, Jason.
I will put that on my sweater if I get those. I feel like that's like I have a Pornhub tank top. Actually, I'm not even kidding.
So the commenter was right then. You're just a porn guy.
I went to this would be like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was visiting some friends in Montreal, and one of my friends used to do SEO, search engine optimization, for some porn companies in the past. And one night he's just like, like, what do you want to do tonight? I'm like, I don't know, whatever. I'm in your city. Let's figure it out. He's like, there's this party that we can go to if you want to go check it out or whatever. Like, all right. I had no idea what I was getting into. Dude, I went to a Pornhub virtual reality party. Virtual reality. I walked in, there was just people sitting around wearing headsets watching porn. It was very, very weird. Very unusual.
I have so many questions, but
we can start. Okay, first of all, did Saquon Barkley just fumble? Did he fumble himself?
Oh my god. I didn't even see that part. I'm trying to watch both games here. I just saw Saquon running one way. I looked to another screen, and then you got Green Bay guys going the other way.
I think he fumbled himself. I don't know that he was touched, man. Yeah, he did. Crazy. He didn't give himself up. He just tripped over his feet and fumbled. Recovered? Green Bay recovered and brought it back to like midfield. Yeah, this has to be Green Bay ball. I don't see how this is going to be overturned. He just fumbled himself, man. Fumbled himself. Wow. You don't see that every day. You don't see that every day.
No, it's not. Never mind.
I mean, if Green Bay's not going to cover, I'd rather they just lose outright to help the Falcons out in the wild card race a little bit. So the nightmare situation is a Green Bay win but not cover.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I've watched this 100 times now, and
what was he doing here? Are they going to?
Yeah, the question is, I can't listen to hear. I can't. Is it John Perry? Yeah, John Perry. He's not giving himself up. He's just still running, and he falls, and he hits the ground, and he fumbles the ball. Oh, it's all the way at the Giants 36, man. That got returned big time.
Wow.
You know you're getting this cover, right, Ian? 3:34 left in the fourth. You know the Packers are scoring a touchdown, and DeVito's throwing a pick six.
That is last second pick sixes have only ever gone against me, so I'd love for one to go my way. I think
it's your time. It's your time.
I'm due for a little bit of luck from Gambler, the gambling god.
I mean, you only bet every single game of every week.
Right.
You should get some luck every now and then.
Which I've noticed is actually a big part of betting every single game, every single week, which I've noticed. I mean, this is my 4th year doing it. This is something I've noticed this year, that when you bet on every single game, you're going to have bad beats every single week, and you're going to have good beats every single week, because the amount of NFL games that come down to like one play, whether or not a team covers or doesn't cover, is unbelievable.
Do we think
More
it's-
games than you would think.
Is good beats the term? You got bad beats.
I don't
Is it-
know. I've always
is
said
it-
good beats.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual verbiage should be. I don't know. Good beats sounds a little bit. I mean, doesn't have a good ring to it.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought of that. I'm not the porn
Well,
guy. So I wouldn't
this
know.
is not even to do with the Pornhub conversation or anything like that.
Okay.
It just bad beats is like an alliteration. It comes off the tongue nicely. Good beats, I don't know.
Good break, good beats.
Good breaks. Could we replace that with another G? Good win, not good win. Sounds as lame as it gets. Well,
In the
Ben
porn community, we call it a good gain.
yeah.
Good gain. That's what we
Good
call
gain.
it.
All right. Well,
Oh,
apparently,
Titans just
Jason
muffed a
likes.
punt, and
Oh.
Dolphins have it on 1st and goal on the 5.
Wow, that's 3 or 4 teams have muffed a punt today.
A lot of muff talk today.
A lot of muffs on the stream today.
Lucky win is that a better term for it?
Somebody had a good one here. No, not good gets. Gambling gifts.
Gambling
I don't know.
gifts.
I don't know. Maybe good beats is the way to go.
I just go
These-
good beats. Keep it simple.
This is too much. This poor guy, Jack Hargraves, has been cheering for a Raheem Mostert touchdown for the entire night. I just hope he gets it. At some point, Jack, I hope you're well. I don't know you, but it seems like you've been rooting very hard for a Mostert touchdown. Like you might have went a little bit too much of bankroll on Raheem Mostert. And apparently he does need it. In caps. That's how you know someone went hard. Put a little too much of bankroll on it when they go all caps. That's the giveaway.
We
I have a
need
Miami
that Titans red zone defense to step up here.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting
Yeah.
for Raheem Mostert touchdown personally. So, Jack,
Yeah. Well, Mostert's got it. And he's barreled down at the 2-yard line. Imagine being able to catch a punt. Imagine that you could go to an NFL team and be like, I can catch 99.9% of punts. Sign me.
I will say I'm actually impressed by how often NFL players actually do catch punts. Catching punts is extremely difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Big plays, man. Big plays. Oh, this is close. This is close. They've ruled it a touchdown. Mostert.
Oh, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown.
You think it's in? You think he got in before the knee went down? Oh, man. Look at this celebration. Oh, I almost died there. It's the sweet, twisted tea that did it to me.
Yeah. Should have been on the Baileys instead. A good game.
Oh, it's close. I don't know, Jim. Oh, Jim, I don't know, Jim. I don't know. Maybe this is a good time for a fake field goal.
Ooh, that is close.
4th and 17. They're not going to overturn that, though. They just won't overturn that. His shin is down, and the tip of the ball is like right at the goal line.
Oh yeah, they already. Yeah.
Like it's very, very, very like.
Yeah, we were talking. About pick sixes. A pick six potentially wouldn't be my Packers bet. Now we're in the area where a pick six. I guess it wouldn't lose my Titans bet, but it would push it, which would be almost as devastating.
Yeah, they confirmed the play, so they've kicked the extra point. It's 20-13. Romeo
There
Dobbs
you go,
just caught a
Jack. I
ball
hope you're happy.
out of bounds. Yeah, Jack's happy. Jack's happy.
We need a Titans drive.
What did we get? How did we get? I lost my train of thought. Too many twisted tees, man. People want me to hit the pen, huh? People are asking for the pen.
I'll fill time for you while you do that, Rob. I have a question.
Pen is here.
So Ian, you're a calf guy, right? You're a calf guy. You like
nice
you
calves.
respect. Okay, so I want to know your thoughts on Tua's calves, because I mean there was a video of him walking in, and I'm just curious
let's
what
get
you would rate his calves.
Okay.
Well, does this have accompanying music or is it just
No, it's silent. Can't really see it, but
He has nice calves, though.
would you say those are nice calves? I agree.
those are not?
Yeah, I'd
good.
have to get a little bit of a closer.
We
look to see
need
the
a closer
definition
look. We need a
I'll
closer
find
look.
one. I'll find one.
We need a closer look.
I
There
mean,
could be a
compare-
point where the calves get too strong that they look not human.
I mean, can we bring up a picture of my beautiful calves? Is what I'm wondering.
Well, we want people to continue watching the stream, Ian. Did you see? How did you end up doing this stream and not watching Tavares 1,000? You saw that Tavares 1,000 points.
I saw
no?
it. Yeah, that happened before I jumped, and then I also saw the Islanders win in overtime.
Yeah.
I will
Fuck.
go watch my Leafs tomorrow night against the Rangers. So,
Oh yeah. There you
by
go.
the way, before we take a look at my beautiful calves, Rob, I meant to bring this up earlier. Shame on us as Toronto fans to allow ourselves to have any hope of signing Ohtani. How did we not know this happens in whether or not it's the Blue Jays, whether it's the Maple Leafs? I'm sure you actually experienced a similar thing with the Cowboys, where every single year, in every single instance, we say we're not going to have hope. We know what this team's going to do to us, and at the last second, we buy in, and as soon as we buy in on the team, the rug gets yanked out from underneath our feet. And it happened again with Ohtani. They're not going to sign him. 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 Then there was 20 minutes. He was a Blue Jay. He was a Blue Jay for 20 minutes. And then they still said, don't worry, he's going to sign him. And the next day he's with the Dodgers. And we fell for it again. We
I
fell
have a
for
lot
it
of
again.
thoughts. A lot of thoughts on this, but I also have a lot of thoughts that you're not going to be happy with. Will Levis fumbled, and Bradley Chubb recovered. The Packers caught a touchdown, and it got knocked out of. Who was that? Who was that? That's my guy, Heath. I need this. Come on, man. I have Malik Heath. Oh, come on. Throw a challenge flag. All right. There's a lot happening right now. First of all, the Ohtani stuff. I can't. Here's what I'm going to do, Ian. I'm going to actually buy a Shohei Ohtani Blue Jays jersey. And I'm going to wear it around.
I love that. I love
like
that
it,
move.
like it happened.
Yeah.
Just going to pretend it happened. It's time for you to sweat big time on the
Yeah,
Titans.
I'm in shambles over here.
I need this Malik Heath anytime touchdown. Don't ask me why I bet Malik Heath, but he caught this.
I bet the Titans plus 14 because of their red zone defense. It's time for the red zone defense to show up. Please tell me that was an offensive flag.
I got too much going on right now. Offside. Defense.
Offside defense? Perfect.
Offside
Perfect.
defense.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
the good news is I have time stamped the exact point where you proclaim that this couldn't happen.
I will say as well, the defender was literally, his hand was beside the ball. I have the privilege of being incredibly delayed compared to you guys. So when something happens, I get to watch what I'm looking for on the next play. And you would lose your mind if you saw this. This was more egregious than Kadarius Toney was offside the other night. Like, this is bad. This was really bad. They
did not give Malik Heath the touchdown. It looks like we should rename this to the Stream of Misery.
Rob,
Yes,
I had champagne. I had champagne on ice on Saturday. I had it in a bucket of ice behind me.
Was that in the same bucket as the
Touchdown.
The Baileys?
Easy not even.
Was it Mostert? It was Mostert again. Wow. Who caught that? Heath again. He's in the end zone. Give him the touchdown. Touchdown. This is like a classic Seinfeld moment. Ian's down and I'm up. I was down and Ian was up. And now the roles have reversed. What a grab. Don't worry, Ian.
I mean, if there's ever a time for someone to miss an extra point, it would be really nice if it was right now.
I'll let you watch that and hope for it.
Right down the middle.
This amazing catch by Heath, man. Dude, If they overturn this catch, I'm gonna fucking yak everywhere. If this catch gets overturned, I'm done. What are we even doing here? Now they got to go for 2. This could work in your favor, Ian.
Pick 6 is not going to happen, Rob.
Hear me out. Packers convert the 2-point conversion. Giants drive the field, go to overtime.
Oh, no, I can't. Okay. Packers
You
get
could
the
get a
ball,
push.
field goal, and then a pick 6.
Oh, there you go. They got to get in here on the 2-point convert, and they didn't. I'm sorry, but it's done. Dream's dead. Dream's done.
Well, it has to be a pick 6.
It has to be a pick 6 now.
Well, in my mind, that bet was lost an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, also the Titans bet had won an hour ago.
Yeah.
That was the right side. That was the right side. He turned the ball over in his own end.
I have a little teeny over 45 in that game. I don't care if it's a Titans touchdown. I don't care if it's a Levis pick 6.
I mean, we have a garbage touchdown here, right? We have the possibility of a garbage touchdown. Is all I need.
Yeah. Garbage teams sometimes score garbage touchdowns.
I've certainly lost plenty of bets this season on garbage touchdowns.
Oh man.
I'll even take a sad field goal in the dying seconds. That'd be nice.
Sad field. They're not going to kick a field goal in the dying.
Give me a sad field. Maybe he knows the spread. Maybe he
I
knows
love
the spread.
I love bettors that have like such false hope. Like, yeah, like maybe it'll be 4th and 28, and they'll just line up for a meaningless field goal.
Listen, a pick 6 touchdown, fumble in your own end, 2 plays later touchdown. Like, I'm due for a little luck here. Just give me something.
Yep.
Interception. Oh, that was almost an interception.
It was almost intercepted.
I
Okay, I'll let you stick with the Dolphins and Titans. I'll move back to the Giants game. That way we got both angles covered, and I'm not spoiling things for you. I can let you watch.
In the
your
Packers-Giants game, the nightmare situation for me was Packers win but not cover.
Yeah, I believe we caught that on tape as well.
When it
we'll have a
rains,
lot
it
of.
pours.
It'll be tough editing for whoever's got to cut this up afterwards. Probably be producer Jacob. Poor sap. Watch the Raptors lose tonight. Plus, he's going to have to cut this up. But I mean, DeVito's dying to throw a pick 6. You can just see him. You can see him frothing at the mouth for a pick 6.
Okay, we have a first down.
You got to do something to reverse the trend. Honestly, I think you got to turn your hat inside out. At all costs, man. You got to do whatever it takes.
I don't know if a Santa Claus hat can go inside out.
Either you got to do something then. It looks the exact same, but without the ball, basically.
Bring back the rally cap.
Oh, man. Where are they at on the field for you?
Midfield.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's midfield. 2nd and 10.
Is there a live? There's no live market right now. Very disappointing. I would want to bet the Titans inside the spread so I can root with you. I just want some action on the end game scenario here.
Yeah, they're literally at midfield, 50-yard line, 2nd and 10. We're almost in sad field goal range, which would be nice.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
Tommy DeVito just threw a
Oh.
beautiful pass. Wow. Flag central?
Offside or false start.
Oh,
We're
that's
screwed.
bad.
It's over. It's
Well,
over.
I need can I get a miracle 15 yards from Tommy DeVito? They're on the Green Bay 22. It
We're
makes no
already
sense.
almost in the
to them.
red zone. Oh my god.
Yeah. They're
I'm
going to.
killed to get that from the Titans right now. No, the Giants just need to kick a field goal to win.
They do.
You know what would
And
make this even worse would be a Will Levis pick 6, and then I don't even get the push.
that would be tough. That would be tough. Giants kicker is who's their kicker? Bullock, right? Randy Bullock.
Titans kicker.
Giants kicker.
Titans kicker is Randy Bullock.
Oh yeah. No, is it? Am I confused? Giants kicker is Randy Bullock. No, isn't the Titans kicker? What's that jabroni's name? Folk.
No,
Nick
Randy
Folk,
Bullock
right?
is the Titan. Oh yeah, you're right. Randy Bullock was on the Titans then.
Yeah. For a long time.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, Titans kicker's Nick Folk. You're right.
Someone has
My
to pull
brain just went
Randy
back 3 years.
Randy Bullock aside right now and tell this guy, dude, there's a $500,000 bonus waiting for you if you drill this kick a mile to the left.
Wait, why do you want him to miss it?
No, the franchise should want him to miss it. I want them to hit it.
For
I
draft
want to
picks.
see the Giants piss away a top 5 pick. I would
Got
love to watch
Got
them
it.
do that.
Got it.
But they should be basically telling this guy at this point, like,
I got to tell you, Rob, and I'm probably jinxing myself like I have several times already tonight, but the Titans, this looks like a garbage time touchdown drive.
yeah. I mean, if you say so, if you like the looks of it,
We're on the 2-yard line. Let's go. Let's go.
first and goal from the 2. Oh man, I honestly, you got to admit that this never would have happened if you were wearing your hat normally.
Nope. That's what changed everything. It changed everything.
It all changed at that point.
First
It
and
all
goal from the 3-yard line.
Okay. You see it?
Touchdown.
Touchdown. D-Hop. D-Hop's in. There you go. We get our over. Somebody who told me about the primetime unders, you can shove those primetime unders straight up your ass. Right up the ass.
Gamble or
Because
give?
that's
Gamble
2
or blitz?
primetime overs after a primetime over on Thursday. Are they going for 2 here? I'm
That's
good
okay.
right now. I've
I'm
got my over. I'm just rooting for other.
And-
They should go for 2 here.
Unless
if
I
they're
mean, the
not.
Dolphins are like not going to try to score a touchdown, right?
Right, but I'm saying that the Titans should go for 2.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Did they get it? Oh, they did.
Rolling right.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
So now, even if the Dolphins score a touchdown, I'm golden.
Cash all the overs. Cash all of them. All right, 37-yard field goal attempt for the Giants. Minus 470. I didn't click it in time. No, I lost. It's good. It's good. Shit, I missed that bet.
Oh, I heard that's something you've been doing lately, eh? Live betting field goals late.
Yeah, it's okay. Minus 470 is 82.5% implied.
That's good.
It's a 37-yard field goal.
Yeah,
It's
what's
way
the
higher than
percentage of
82.5.
37-yard field goal. It's got to be higher. Than
I don't have the chart up in front of me, but it's higher than that. It's higher than that. Can the Titans win this game? I'm not going to bet the Titans to win this game. I don't want to be stupid. I just really want that to happen. That's what I want. But that was a great 2-point conversion for you, Ian. You're
Yeah,
laughing
I'm-
it up.
I'm
You're
laughing.
laughing up a storm.
And
You're
the
laughing
Packers
up a-
lost, so now that actually helps the Falcons out quite a bit.
Wow. This whole stream turned, man. This was getting in a real dark place. You were
What'd you
about
say-
to shit your
So-
pants from the Baileys. You were
Yeah,
about
we're
doing
all
like a lot of things. Your hat was on improperly. We just made a couple subtle switches and boom.
That's all
Done.
we needed.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Minus what was it? 470. What'd you say that translates
Yeah.
to implied probability?
82.5%.
A 37-yard field goal. Is that how long it was? 87.5%.
Yeah. 5% edge.
From
Maybe you
2010
bring
to 2023.
okay, you maybe bring it down a little bit because it's outdoors and like not all field goals are equal. And maybe I have never really studied the late game stuff to see if there's like a pressure component where you hit less. But either way, I do think that that's an edge.
I agree.
Yeah. Fact that they could be tanking is. I've talked about this a lot. You know, I had Pisky on here earlier. Pisky's like a top-down better. I tell people all the time. People say this to me all the time. Oh, Pinnacle, like Pinnacle's a sharp sports book. You can't beat Pinnacle, whatever. It's like every sports book has some sort of flaw or something that, and Pinnacle often has late game arbs against the soft rec books. So even if you don't want to lay the minus 470 for the like, you don't want to have the minus 470, you can hit minus 470 Giants to win, and you could have still bet the other side at 6-1 at the same exact time at a rec book. But I'd rather just hit, personally, me, I don't mind the risk. I think 470 is the right side in that situation. I'll just bet it. But you can go back the other way. And a lot of these late game situations, the sharp book prices it a little bit lower. A little bit lower. 14 left in Circa. Ooh. Some people lost on Green Bay. Tommy DeVito, 75% as a starter. The legend of DeVito. He will forever go down as the biggest mistake the Giants ever made.
Never
Because he's
DeVito.
just never DeVito, Suma. You're right. You just losing.
When he first
draft
came out,
equity.
we were all saying, or I don't know if you were saying this, Rob, but I was saying that he might be the worst quarterback to ever start an NFL game.
He was awful.
It was bad when he first like the first game.
He was
played
just
it.
standing there taking sacks for a couple weeks. What's this guy? Hill is playing. Hill is definitely in the game. I just saw Tyreek Hill on the field right now. He's in there.
3rd and 6. Big 3rd and 6.
Oh, flag, late flag. Where's that flag? It's got to be offensive holding. It's in the backfield, right? It's in the backfield. All right. I'm going to get synced with you, Ian, here shortly. So I'll go backwards in time. Once
Okay.
the play clock starts running again,
Okay.
I'm going to pause my TV when it gets to the play clock gets to 20. Come on, run the play clock, people. Let's go. Move it. Yeah, Vrabel's going to decline. They're definitely declining. Apparently, the play clock doesn't run anymore in the NFL. Okay, I'm paused at 20. Tell me when you get to 20. I'm going to be ready to hit instantaneously.
20.
Okay, we're good to go.
All right.
There's not that much of a delay for you today.
No,
you got the good
actually,
stuff
no, it
in
wasn't too bad today.
you got the good stuff. All right, and good field position. Will Levis legacy drive? God damn, that twisted T made me have to piss really bad.
Oh,
Whew.
you can't pee now.
No, I need to wait to the 2-minute warning, but
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh man.
Do you have any other bets riding on this game, or
I got
you
lots,
just
but
had
they're
the
all
over?
going to lose. So don't know. I basically just needed to win a touchdown score bet in order to not be a disaster. Yeah, there was almost a muff there too. All right. Goddamn twisted teas, man. Tastes so good.
I'm not a twisted tea guy myself, but
You're drinking
in
fucking
university,
Bailey's on ice.
Right.
You know, it's very, very different.
in university, a lot of people around me were drinking twisted teas.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
They might win this
Yes.
game. After looking
Vic
like
Fangio.
they weren't going to cover, now all of a sudden they might win.
Vic Fangio saving the good plays for the fourth quarter. The good defensive schemes.
I'm sweating team total Miami over.
Keep sweating.
Exactly.
I'm going to go sweat a piss really quickly.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm sweating team total over. The Miami team total over here. Is it back in play right now of 29.5? It's got to be, no?
I guess if the Titans score quick,
Right? Because they still have the. Did
and
you
if
go
they
to bounce
for
your
2? No, because they wouldn't go for 2.
You still have the
down
2-minute warning here.
6. Yeah,
Dolphins,
you
I don't
need-
know how they only have one timeout, but
Yeah, you need the Titans to score quick.
yeah.
They're down to the 12, 11-yard line. So, yeah, Titans score quick. I mean, Dolphins are going to have a minute, depending on how many plays it takes, anywhere between a minute and a minute and a half to go down and score here.
That's
so.
crazy. I mean, they keep going. I know it's 2-minute warning, but they keep going out of bounds here. It's just crazy stuff. I don't know. Do you bet any props tonight, or just on the all?
No,
all
just
sides?
just the two sides. So one and
Do you ever
one for
buy-
me.
Okay.
What?
Do you ever bet props or no? Like just
I sprinkle a little bit on some props occasionally, but because I do the road to 272 bets this year, I said I was going to do props as well. But because I place all my bets Monday night, there's no props available.
props.
So
fair enough.
Sides and totals.
Fair enough. Do you? What's it like being a Falcons fan? By the way, I've always wanted to.
Hell,
because
It
every
sucks.
sports team I cheer
You know,
for
you don't
is
have to-
causing me
you
nothing
don't-
but pain.
From the outside
I mean-
looking in, it's got to be terrible.
It's what 8 or 9 years later, and I still see a 28-3 reference on my Twitter timeline every week.
yeah. It's tough. You'll never get
When they
over
lost that game, I knew it was like, not only did we lose to the Patriots, who are my all-time least favorite team, but they lost in a way that now I need to hear. If they just lost in normal fashion, no one would bring it up ever again. But they lost in a way that now for the rest of my life, I need to hear 28-3.
Wow.
Who do you blame for that loss?
I blame the Falcons fans personally. I think they're the worst
The
fans.
franchise as a whole. Apparently, the Falcons were like popping champagne at halftime, so
Oh my
that
god,
wasn't good. Devontae Freeman for missing that block
gonna say
would
him.
probably be the number. If you're looking at a single play, it was Devontae Freeman missing that block.
Yeah.
that was bad.
Yep. That was tough, man. It's all around. Falcons fans, just rough. Falcons
Well-
popping champagne at halftime. Their fans popping boner pills at halftime. They were ready to go.
To be fair, I never said it was over, ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
My experience as a Leafs fan told me it was not over.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, if there's one thing we want to pop champagne bottles over, it's your Cavs. They look fantastic.
look at
Wow. I mean, we don't really have we need the backside view there, Ian.
I don't
We
know
need
if
the
I'm a
backside.
backside view.
But honestly,
we got a
I can
backside
tell-
view right here.
Yeah,
Those are Tua's Cavs, by the way.
Those are Tua's. Those are
Nuts.
mighty.
those
Those
aren't
are-
Tua's Cavs, are they?
They
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, those-
According to Reddit, I don't know how
Those
trust.
are nice.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, 2
Had
minutes.
to throw that in.
2 minutes. They're on like the 12-yard line here.
where are they actually at? It is. It's
12-yard
the
line.
13-yard line. Yeah. Okay.
13.
Okay. All right.
My
Will
stream
be-
just paused and then went backwards.
Wow. Tough.
Greedy, but let's get a Chris Moore TD here for the account, and not because I parlayed the 2 TD scores we had on that you gave out today.
Tajay Spears down to the 6. So they're just getting Miami to burn their timeouts now, which I think that's the last one from the Dolphins.
Yes.
But basically, the goal is to score a touchdown with as little time remaining as possible here. Like, you could run a play action here, and you would 100% catch Miami off guard if you did that, but you're just going to leave them way too much time. So you just have to run the ball. You got to run the ball. And I don't agree. Miami should not let them score. People think it's like a foregone conclusion that if you're at what yard line did they at? 6 that they're going to get in the end zone.
No, you let them score if it's like a 2-point game. You let them score. You wouldn't let them
Bingo.
score in this situation.
No, definitely wouldn't. The amount of the stop percentage on this is way higher than the average fan thinks. Now that I said that, they'll 100% score, but
Especially it's a Titans offense. It's not exactly a
Yeah.
top tier offense in the NFL.
Yeah. they're just taking
And they
false
just screwed
starts, moving
themselves.
backwards.
Yeah,
Fucking
so-
guys. Bunch of jabronis. Poverty franchise, Titans. Who are the poverty franchises in the league?
The Falcons.
Falcons are poverty franchise. The Jags were until they got Trevor Lawrence. They still might be. Delay a game defense.
What?
What the fuck?
How does that happen? It's like not enough. What? Is that like a substitution thing?
Wow, McDaniel looks exactly like I look when I'm confused.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you look pretty confused on the sidelines there.
Yeah. Could be the weed. Carolina poverty franchise to the max.
Oh, what a nightmare situation to be Panthers fan right now. Not only are you the worst team in the NFL, your first overall quarterback looks like trash. You have the first overall pick, but you don't because you traded away to get that franchise quarterback who's trash.
Oh, that's the best burst Derrick Henry's had in a long time there.
Touchdown? Wow.
How am I ahead of you again now?
I told my stream paused and then went back 5 seconds. Like the screen went black, and when it came back, it was 5 seconds in the past.
What is that?
It's Hulu.
How do you live like that, man? Now I'm going to see
fired up
the PAT before you see the PAT. It's
Yep.
Nick Folk, though. I'd bet a lot on Nick Folk making this PAT.
Who would you have more confidence in, Nick Folk or Fat Randy?
I think Folk. Right down the pipe, baby. Right down the pipe. Okay.
Too much
I'm not going to
time.
look at the live line yet, but I actually think that this is going to be very close to 50-50.
I actually think Dolphins might be favored.
Well,
A
we're
minute
about to find
50
out.
with this offense against the Titans secondary.
All right. What do we got?
That can't be. Are Dolphins minus
No,
280?
That's got to be wrong. That's not right.
I'm looking at a different sports book. It has Titans minus 115, Dolphins minus 111.
Dolphins minus 117 at Pinnacle.
So
Titans plus
Slight-
100.
Slight favorite.
We got the test account. I think some Pinnacle trader was messing around with us right there. Like, look at these fucking idiots.
Yeah, place a bet on the Titans if those were the odds for sure.
Of course, never in doubt. Finns down 4 offensive linemen, but the Tennessee pass defense is so bad. Tough one. It's a tough one. Turned out to be a pretty good good night of football, all said and done.
Yep.
I guess there's no rooting interest for you now.
No.
No. I got to do a show with G Stack George tomorrow. He's a big Dolphins fan. And it's going to be his birthday in 23 minutes as well.
Ooh.
So I kind of hope, for his sake, doesn't start his birthday off on a very sour mood. It's the kind of guy I am. I'm a good friend, Ian.
I'm cheering for the Dolphins because I want the Chiefs to get as low of a seed as possible.
Not a Chiefs guy, huh?
No. They've been bugging me all year, and then the whole Patrick Mahomes meltdown this weekend gave me a reason to not like them. I just hate when it's the same teams every year.
I get it. I'd rooted against the Patriots forever, so what are you going to do?
It's just jealousy more than anything.
Oh my! Is this ref for real? This ref had no idea whether he wanted to stop the clock or to keep it running. It went through his head like 14 times on that play. He's like, no.
Ooh, a little Dan Marino shot.
Yeah, Marino. Big fan of Marino. Epic acting performance in Ace Ventura.
Never seen it.
I know that's a joke. I know you're joking. This can't be real.
No.
I'm hoping this is not real. You've actually watched Ace Ventura before, right?
I'm aware of it, but I never actually watched it.
You're not. You're. I don't know if you're serious or now because you're smiling, but I don't actually.
Really quick, because we do need to stay focused on this. But Christmas Vacation, good Christmas movie or no?
That's fine.
Okay. I got an argument with my coworkers today who said it's the best Christmas movie, and it's not even a question. I watched it last week. I don't think I laughed once.
Home Alone is the best Christmas movie.
I don't know if I agree with that. It's better than Christmas Vacation, but I don't know if I agree with that.
What are the better Christmas movies?
The original Grinch cartoon.
No. Keep going. Next
A
option.
Muppet Family Christmas.
Fine, but no, not better.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay, please. This is now we're not even having a real conversation anymore.
The 1947 version.
Yes, I know exactly which one you're referring to, and this is why it cannot be a real conversation. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, even if it had like Christmas going on in the background, there's no Christmas themes to it.
Yeah. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, are they getting home for Christmas or Thanksgiving? I can't remember what holiday they're getting home for.
Nightmare Before Christmas is in a weird category where it's not really a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie. So I don't know if you can count that.
I went to see a orchestra play the Home Alone music over the movie this past week. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was so good.
I didn't know Home Alone music was like orchestra worthy.
Oh, come on, man.
Maybe I'll rewatch Home Alone. It's been a long time since is Home Alone 1 better than 2? Because there's the argument out there that some people have that Home Alone 2 is better.
I think 2 has like more comedy to it, personally. The bricks coming off the roof is very epic. They're both very, very good.
But you'd go number 1?
They're both very good. Bad Santa is a great movie. Bad Santa is fantastic.
I saw Charlie Brown Christmas there in the chat. That's a good call.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm seeing some options in here. There's nothing that stands out to me as that you're not gonna change my mind. Home Alone, the first Home Alone is the best Christmas movie. I'm putting my foot down.
All right.
What puts it over the top is John Candy's cameo, where he filmed for one day, did the entire scenes as improv.
I'll rewatch it these holidays. I'll rewatch Home Alone 1.
Yeah. Jingle All the Way, decent.
That's Arnold, isn't it?
That's Arnold and Sinbad, and who was he from Saturday Night Live? He what's his name? Oh, he plays like he does the voice for Lionel Hutz in The Simpsons. Phil Hartman got murdered by his wife. Very sad. Yeah, R.I.P. Wow.
Ooh, what a move by A-Chain.
Did he get out of bounds?
No.
Dude, there's no way he got out of bounds there. Okay, now the second ref comes in and says to the first ref, "You're a moron. Wind the clock." I mean, Just Friends is a rom-com that my wife made me watch years ago when we were dating. It was actually pretty damn funny.
I would throw in A Christmas Story.
Tua, going down.
That's
Game over. That's game, Hendricks.
Wow. And I was worried about losing plus 14 there for a second. That was like 10 minutes ago.
How does Vrabel do this, man?
Also,
how does Vrabel do it?
Big night for the analytics guys. Titans went for 2 after that first touchdown. Worked out for them.
You know what, Ian? I didn't even think of that. It will go in a tweet afterwards. Big night for you, Ian. And it all started right there. Sometimes I know, man. I've been betting a long time. People think you can't influence the outcomes of the games. Get out of here.
Absolutely, you can. The old rally. People got to bring back the rally cap. It's a lost art.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. You got to do whatever you can. You got to do whatever you can. All right, Ian. You end your week well. Well, you end your week going 1-1 on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. And overall, I think 6-9 on the week. Not bad. Bad. Not good.
6-9. Great number.
Overall for the season, still profitable. And like I say, Rob, in sports betting, if you're not losing, you're winning. And so far this NFL season, I'm not losing.
You tell them, Ian. If you're not first, you're last. Not first, you're last. Iain MacMillan, everyone. Appreciate you. Happy holidays. Enjoy. I'd say go Falcons, but I don't really mean it. But I'll say it anyways, just so that you hear. Go Falcons.
Thank you. One really quick last question for you, Rob. Cowboys, do you have faith they can win a Super Bowl this year? Because I just brought up earlier how we have the bad habit of getting hope, and as soon as we get hope, it gets torn out from underneath us. Are you at the stage yet with the Cowboys where you have faith?
Ian, I was out, but they've pulled me back in. I do have faith. Oh God, why?
Oh
I
no! Oh
I do
no!
have faith. Oh
right.
man.
Good luck.
All right.
Hey, actually, the Falcons might take on the Cowboys first round. So if you do a live stream for that game, if it happens, I'll jump on.
There won't need to be a stream for that game. It'll be over by the end of the first quarter if that happens. It'll be very similar to Cowboys Bucks first round last year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
All right, Rob. Thanks for having me on. Take care. Happy holidays.
All right. Happy holidays. Iain MacMillan, everyone. Probably running to the bathroom right now because of all that Bailey said he drank over the course of the stream. That would be my guess. No human can drink that much Bailey's and sit through an entire quarter. This guy's digestive system is, I don't know what it's made out of. Chrome, something. Maybe he doesn't even have a digest. Maybe he's a robot. Who knows? I really have no idea. I'm going to have to find a guest host for Circles Off now tomorrow. George's Toast. It's done. It's done. All right, people. Appreciate you joining in over the course of the night. Was a banger stream tonight. Really enjoyed it. Thank you to all our guests. Iain MacMillan, Noops, Pisky, Drew Dinsick, the Whale Capper. Loved having all the guys on. Very distinctly different people over the course of the stream. As a reminder, if you haven't checked out Pinnacle in Canada yet, do so. I wear the hats because they send them to me and they're comfortable. They fit well. But they're also a damn good sports book. Check them out. Use code HAMMER in Canada if you do sign up. Promise you won't regret it. Great margins, great product altogether. It's tomorrow, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. G-Stack George, Sharp Clark, breaking down tape from the previous week. I am back here on Wednesday for the Best Bets show. My God, Hitman lost another best bet tonight. How does this guy do it? I don't know how he does it, but he's managing to do it. I'm back here on Wednesday. Appreciate everyone tuning in. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for all our guests, for my producer, Jason Cooper, this has been another Forward Progress live watch along right here, part of the Hammer Betting Network presented by Pinnacle. Everyone else, enjoy your night. I'll catch you later on in the week.